as the camera sort of comes up, what we hear first is just the camera comes up and we see Dalton from behind and a low camera angle. We see Jiggle. As Dalton is being goaded along.
Come on, bitch. Come on. It's just the second time. It's not this bad. Come on. I know everything fucking hurts, but you've done this before. We're going to go twice this time, okay? Not just once. We're going to go twice, okay? You're about 3/4 through the first run. Come on.
I can feel the burn in my guts. I didn't know I could feel things down there.
That's not the burn in the guts. That's the shit you ate last night. Come on. Let's go. If you want to feel burn in your guts, I'm going to start putting a flamethrower under your ass.
If it'll kill me, please do it.
All right, and then you just feel like a little heat, just like not even like actual anything. It's just you feel heat under your ass as she's like just hitting it and punching it. Come on, let's go.
Dalton strives further ahead, doing his best.
Give me an athletics check.
Oof, 0.
You know what that means. I'll let you narrate it yourself, though.
Dalton's knees buckle under the weight of Patty's fists, and Dalton falls on his face and rolls over. Oh God, Patty, it's so much work.
You know, there's that brief pause as he's kind of like just looking up as she leans over. She's like, "You doing good, princess? Come on."
No. Please, just leave me here to die.
Well, you got two options. Either you can get your ass back up, or I'm going to drag you back down so you can run up like it again. Which one do you want?
It's at that moment that you hear crack across the sky, and it just opens up. It just starts pouring.
Oh, God. I could just leave my mouth open and drown.
Imagine that rain after you finish running, okay? The rain's gonna mix with the sweat. You can't tell the difference. Come on. And I grab his legs and I start like gently pulling him at first just to like try to get him coaxed up and like holding the underside of his chasm. Like, come on.
No, I'm staying here. I'm staying here for a while.
So you see, Patty's gonna try and lift Dalton up to get him back on his legs since he's gonna like not even try to get up.
Okay, so I'm gonna need probably both a provoke and an athletics roll from you. You can choose which order you want to do this in.
Okay. I want to provoke. I
Okay.
want to like either intimidate him or piss him off enough to get up.
Okay.
That's a +1.
So you have a +3.
Okay.
So
like,
Dalton, you can contest this roll, and you can sit on the other side and counter roll if you want, or you can just accept the narration as it stands and be like, you know, +3. So you know that's a good, by definition, that's a good roll.
Dalton having it in him that he doesn't want to be this tubbo lard forever succumbs to Patty's provocation and starts to stand on his own 2 feet, wobbly, but okay, Patty.
There you go, bitch. There you go. Get up. You got it.
I'm not running. I'll walk with you, but I ain't running.
All right, we'll take a 2-minute breather. All right. So she's going full Biggest Loser mode and like harassing him into exercise. She's like, okay, 2 minutes. As soon as they get through that first 30 seconds, she's like, okay, minute 30. Come on, take deep breaths, hands above head, get that air flowing. Okay. Once that minute is up, we are hitting it again. All right. Okay. You got 30 seconds.
Dalton's deep breaths are extremely labored. You can hear the rust in his throat.
All right. I got a fresh bottle of water for you as soon as you get through this last bit, all right? Come on.
Dalton swings for the water.
Nope. Keep going. Keep going.
Not at a faster pace, but almost to try and create the illusion of effort. Dalton just is walking with his arms going high.
All right. She like gives him a last little kick in the butt, but like doesn't go too much harder with him. She's like, all right, he's up, he's moving, we're good.
Dalton's struggling to breathe the entire time, but moving.
There you go. All right, we're on that last little bit. We're going to turn that corner, and then we're going to see this nice little rainfall. All right, we're turning. There we go. We did it, Dalton. We made it through the first one. Now, what we're going to do is take a nice 5 minutes. And as soon as we get through this 5 minutes, we're going to go back down, then back up, okay?
How about down? That's it. Down. One time. Down.
How about this? We go back down, we go halfway up, and then we go back down. How about that?
I feel like this training regimen is for a much fitter man.
Actually, no. When I first started doing this regimen, I was the same position as you. And you know, here I am now.
Patty, that's cap. I don't believe you were ever
She pulls out a
this
phone.
big.
She pulls out a phone and she shows herself, and she shows like her with 100+ pounds on her, and she shows herself like a full like pre-transition beard, like short hair, like very much like looking like a dude who comes out of like just a random back alley. She's like, this was me 3 years ago.
Dalton takes in a deep breath, lets it go, kind of giving up to the idea that, yeah, Patty was once like this, but seeing Patty has clearly done the work, continues with the big arm swings, just
Give me a roll.
trying to get at it.
Give me a roll. Athletics.
Yeah, I generated, but no.
-2.
So that's a -1.
Yeah.
Can I help him? I want to like
You
support him.
you can help him. A help action would get him to mediocrity.
I'm okay with mediocrity. I'm okay with him at least being on his feet.
Okay. What do you do
So
to
you
help
see me
him?
wobbling.
Yeah. Well, in that process, she like catches up to him, and as soon as he almost falls for a minute, she like wraps her arm to pick him back up, and like not fallen, but like able to put him back on his feet and just kind of like be right beside him to keep him focused and not off his balance.
Yeah, at this point, Dalton is fully like mechanical leg process. One foot is falling in front of the other, and only the bones in his legs are keeping him from hurtling forwards. But he has to take another step after another step to keep that forward balance moving.
Well, it's like that one song, put one foot in front of the other.
Don't start singing. I might actually sprint away from you if you start singing.
But okay, so it has been raining for a few minutes now at a steady clip. It doesn't seem to be letting up. And while the drainage system in NSF is actually more than adequate, they deal with floodwaters on a regular basis. They've bulwarked the city against rising seas. They've sort of, they have a pump system at that surface street level. It does form rivers sort of till it hits the drain system and you are on a slope. So your feet, your socks, your shoes are firmly sloshing wet. With every footfall, it is a squelch and a squish when that foot hits. Also, it's adding a fair bit of weight to each foot.
Just remember,
Dalton visibly uncomfortable.
Just remember, if it starts raining, slow the pace down, but not go too hard. You got to keep it consistent, because if you start going hard, you're going to hit that fucking concrete and you're gone.
If I go any faster, I'm gonna hydroplane right off the side of this hill.
Well, you got two options. You can just throw yourself down, go down, 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 and then never walk again. Or you can go a little slower. Your options.
Message received, Sergeant Patty.
Hoorah!
Dalton's meeting the pace so that he doesn't fall over.
You can see, like, in this moment, as Patty's, like, running alongside him, you don't see her, like, smiling and visibly excited a whole lot and just not, like, I'm gonna kill somebody way, but you can see she's, like, really in her rhythm. She's kind of very much, like, the world's kind of slipped away from the moment, and the only thing that matters is keeping Dalton on his legs. Keep him moving, keep him running. Come on, you got it, let's go! Okay, we're about a quarter way left, okay? We gotta get all the way down, take a breather, I got this water bottle for you, come on, let's go. And she starts picking up a little bit, like, leaving him a little bit behind, but not leaving him. Come on, let's go!
As you two continue this workout, the camera starts drawing back and pulls into a slow fade, leaving Dalton suffering and Patty's goading behind. And it fades up to the base, to the scrapyard, and the Undercity, as it were, in the midst of a pouring day. And you can see the alleyway getting a nice little bit of a river going by, and the courtyard really sort of dripping, really sort of dropleting down, giving it a good rinsing, as it were. And the camera passes through into the doorway, and we find Karen, we find Krill, we find Troy, and we find Jacob. What are our four people up to today? It's about midday, right around noon, on a nice rainy Saturday in NSF.
Karen is sitting at the desk with a file, manicuring her nails, getting them just right, fixing off the corners. She's done a recent trim and recent color job and wants to make sure they look spot on perfect. And pulls out her phone and starts looking up to place an order. She wants a bottle of alcohol on hand for herself. For reasons. And she knows she needs some alcohol.
What's she ordering?
A bottle of scotch. A cheap one, but scotch.
Give me a resource roll.
+3.
It looks like there's a sale on today. They've got free express drone shipping.
Beautiful.
So your bottle of scotch will be here in 6 minutes.
Awesome. And an add-on of a couple of glasses, one with a large square ice cube. The other one we don't need.
Krill at the table, you just see what seems to now be an assortment of guns. And she actually looks bored right now, seemingly taking all the assault rifles that were there and just going through each one of them. She dismantled one and has now made a few more. And she looks very bored, just expanding the arsenal at a very base level value. But all that's in the back of her mind is we need some stock to sell. And she's short on patience.
Give me a craft roll.
Can do. Come on, me. Can I not? 5 total.
We'll say you get 4 of whatever you're looking to do done by the time that it makes sense that they're done.
Sorry, of course someone needed to knock. Please repeat those last numbers. I got 4 more, did you say?
You got 4 of whatever you're looking to get done by the time that you need to get them done.
Sweet. We have 4 additional baseline assault rifles.
What's Jacob up to while Krill is clearly doing weapons work?
While Jacob would have usually taken note of inventory that he would have been looking to sell as well, he is actually still a bit focused on, well, other things. For once, he's actually caught himself in a bit of a workout. As of right now, just hitting some burpees, just right in front of a mirror, just not even counting, just sweat's pouring, he's just going, just kind of in the zone, just keeping it to himself right now.
Give me an athletics roll.
-2. Okay.
The workout is going average. It's an average workout. He's not hitting anything hard. He's not hitting anything unusual. It's enough to get the blood flowing. So Karen is ordering scotch and finishing up her nails. Krill is working on weapons to consign for sale. Jacob is just keeping the blood flowing, getting the muscles a little loosened up and limbered up. What's Troy up to?
Troy's just assisting Krill right now. He's either holding, some of the gun supply next to her, or he's going back into the scrap yard to pick up more guns to bring to her for her to work on an inventory.
Oh, thank you. Next time, can you grab a... She just looks over her whole inventory. Could you grab the pile of what looked like I can only call it, I think, a shopping cart? It looks, like, out of date. Like, now we have much better baskets. Doesn't matter. They apparently wheel them around. Could you, bring that in, too? It's good raw material for the bases. Thanks.
As you wish. Troy just turns on his heel and walks out into the junkyard. Walks back just a couple minutes later with the shopping cart, I guess.
Yeah, it's, like, crunched up in pieces. It's like, oh, shit.
Go ahead.
So then in that case, he's just, holding it.
Brick O shopping cart. All right. Well,
Brick O shopping cart. I remember.
The camera cuts to a soaked Dalton and Patty standing just inside the lobby / atrium of their apartment building. How did the workout go?
So I feel like the best descriptor is we got to there. We took like an 8-minute break instead of a 5-minute break. So we needed a longer break, but we were able to just get him towards that like 3/4 instead of the middle. So she was able to push him a little farther than she promised. And then we made their way down. So we didn't get to the whole way, but we got 1 3/4 lap in, which is pretty significant for Dalton.
Dalton doesn't feel that way. It sucked. Dalton is leaning against the wall, just still huffing, still.
She pulls out another water bottle. She's like, okay, you took that first one. Now take this one slower, because if you take too much water one time, you're going to throw up, all right?
Dalton considers chugging the whole thing, but Patty has not steered him wrong so far, so...
Yeah.
Okay, Patty, you got it.
She pulls out her phone, and she says, I kept like a whole running track, okay? So that first one, you went about... let me see. It was about like 2/3 of a mile, like all the way up. So you got about 2/3, and we ran down. So roughly, you're not improving the time yet, but the fact that you're able to run that amount of distance in that amount of time, it's still a good sign. You are not hopeless, okay? And that's good.
Oh, thanks. Besides you, I've only ever heard my mom say that, so that's very nice.
Look, man, would you rather me be telling you, yeah, man, you did great? Or would you rather me say, hey, we're working from here. We got plenty of room to grow.
No, I apologize for my sarcasm. I don't. My brain is kind of in low power mode. I just basically have only a few responses at this point, but I do want to say I appreciate the work we're putting in.
No problem.
I will
man.
have more to say when I'm not dying on the inside.
Yeah, just keep in mind, once we get through this first week, we're going to start incorporating some calisthenics. We're going to do some basic like body weight exercise. So you'll be like doing some push-ups, maybe some sit-ups. This way we can start like building some muscles with alongside that cardio. All right.
Yeah, I'm just worried about when I'm gonna have to start like eating healthier. That's scary.
Well, I did give you those shakes. Have you taken the shakes on their own yet?
Dalton visibly confused. Oh, I mean I took them, but I thought you were gonna tell me when the diet started.
The diet started the day after you got them.
That's my bad. That's my misreading of it. That's on me. Yeah.
All right. You go take a shower, take some rest. I'll bring the shakes over after I take a shower myself. All right.
So I can't eat the leftover burger I have.
No. In fact, you should burn it.
Dalton visibly upset.
If you want to bite, I want you to take your knife and I want you to put on that very thin edge, and I want you to cut off like a 1/4 of an inch. That's how much of that you can have.
Dalton suddenly, for the first time, doing advanced math in his head. I'll just do the state. I'll just do the shakes.
All right. Yeah.
I don't think I can keep anything down anyway, and I don't want something heavy going down. That's going to be heavy coming up. If you know what I mean.
Just remember, now that you've started running, once your heartbeat is starting to slow down, I want you to do some light stretches, because otherwise your body is going to be in a lot of pain, and if you suddenly just turn it off, it's not good. You got to be able to slow down and chill out, okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Touch your toes, stretch back, do that kind of stuff.
Dalton starts heading up to his apartment.
We see a simple fade in, fade out montage sequence of Dalton struggling to get into his apartment. Wet clothes, man. Wet clothes are such a pain in the ass to get off, right? So, like, literally just like yanking and just tripping on the pants with the shirt over his head, laying on the ground, sort of dejectedly taking a few beats, and then like kicking the pants off, sort of situation, and eventually wrestling the shirt off of the top of himself, and a underwear clad, of course it's tidy whities, underwear clad Dalton taking himself to the bathroom. And then you just see a fade in and fade out of Dalton and Patty closing their doors simultaneously as a split screen is done. And you see Dalton's hair is still wet. And the two of them with this split screen coming down and meeting again in the seam of the split screen, just dissolving as the two shots line up once again in the lobby.
So she's got the milkshake, she's handing them over. She's like, so what are we doing from here? Like, y'all went to the fucking shard thing last night. What do we do from there?
I mean, we got a lot of work to do with the rest of the crew, so Dalton presses a button on his keys, the car down on the street beeps open. I guess I'm giving you a ride back to the base.
Yep. Just consider it my payment for training you.
Yeah, okay. When we crash into a wall because I pass out, that is also part of the payment.
That's okay. I got shit to keep you a lightweight if we need it, okay? And she pulls out like a needle, like injector, and it's like kind of like it goes a little bit, goes right in your fucking thigh, all right?
Okay. Dalton heads to the car.
We'll do an abbreviated version of this. Give me a driving check.
-1.
It's an uneventful drive, but it's a pretty rainy day. And so it's actually a little bit slower of a journey for you guys. But rainy days, even in a bustling metropolis, even in a mega arcology such as NSF, do seem to have an effect on human behavior. So you notice that people are taking it a little bit slower. People seem to be staying indoors at a greater rate. It's not as much traffic as there normally would be. So it's
There's that one asshole that goes like 100 miles on the wet roulette road, and it just like zoom.
Well, there's always the two types, right? There's the one that does 25 miles an hour, and then there's the one that does 100 miles an hour. And they always seem to meet. So, yes, it's a rather uneventful drive for you, ultimately. And as you arrive at the base finally, having... Well, did either of you bring any sort of coverage? Umbrellas? Anything?
I mean,
Okay,
I got an umbrella in the trunk.
Patty's backpack is waterproof, so she's good.
Give me a resource check there, Dalton.
Actually, which car is Dalton driving? Because he took both back to his place last time. Or no, never mind. It's just Lincoln.
Yeah, he's got the Lincoln.
No, you abandoned the other car, right?
The Supra is parked in Lee's Discount Armor and Weapons by the Gamer Life Apartments. Okay, so Dalton gets out of the car, and as it's like raining, it's not raining where you are. Like the Undercity sort of is for the most part, but your base location is just sort of subpar. And so there are drainage issues in the outer area of your base. But as you approach there, Patty and Dalton walking up, Dalton just whoomp, and puts an umbrella up as he walks into this area that is dripping, well, what we now know to be a mix of industrial detritus and human feces. And so, yes, this is dripping down in the courtyard, and Dalton just whoomp. And
Patty's staying under the water purposely, so she's got like that Matrix but neon look going, and it's just covering her entire face, and she's just like, she's even though she's like soaking wet, she's still very much like, all right, I'm in a good mood today. I don't know why, but I feel good.
Okay. I shall turn it over to the group then, as you join.
As we enter, Dalton closes the umbrella, puts it outside, leaves it outside on the side of the door, looks at Patty as the door opens, and that's like crap water, right?
Man.
Okay, just checking. Dalton walks in.
You want a hug? I'll give you a hug.
Oh, Dalton moves in further, faster.
Yeah. She's like, I'll give you a hug, Dalton. Come on.
You guys see Dalton run in, fearful for his life.
Which one of you bitches want a fucking crappy water hug?
Jacob just kind of takes notice of the disturbance, but doesn't really engage. He just kind of says, at this point, just time to end the fucking workout. Just gets up, kind of shakes himself off, and just moves as far away from Patty and Dalton as he can, as he's not interested in a shitty water hug.
Patty, how does one poorly execute a water hug?
It's real easy. I'm soaking wet, and if I hug you, you'll be covered in shitty water.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, Krill, it's a literal shitty water hug.
Okay. I was not understanding this.
I cannot receive an infection, so I am capable of accepting the water hug without damage.
What about the back of your head?
As long as you do not touch the damage in the back of my head.
Fair enough. Come here, Dalt. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here, Troy.
Troy sets down the basket full of junk and stuff and just approaches Patty and just gives her like the most unenthusiastic hug possible.
Like just a half inch of water just pours off of her clothes as soon as they hug, and it just all hits the ground at the same time.
I have to clean that up, I guess.
Don't clean it. It's fine.
Troy has like absolutely zero reaction to being soaked in shit water. He just releases Patty, stands back up, and walks back over the Krill and says, "You require any more further assistance?"
Could you please put this on the table? If you put it there, and she's like gesturing to on the ground, I can't pick it up if you leave it there.
My apologies. Picks up the
Thank you.
basket and puts it back on the table.
Thank you. Frill actually goes to walk off to bring most of the remade and expanded assault rifles to the weapon rack in the back, looking for Jacob on the way.
Yeah, Jacob at this point is just, just kind of minding his own business, just watching the chaos unfurl just against the wall. He hasn't
All right,
really taken note of what Krill's been up to.
that's for March. What is Jacob? You know this. What is the running market for these rifles right now?
He just will perk up and he just kind of just walks over and he just kind of looks it up and down and he just he asks like what you end up doing to him?
I don't think anyone would be able to tell. We've got 4 additional I basically just made knockoffs of the assault rifles we've made. Don't get me wrong, when I say knockoff, I don't mean in quality, I just mean in the effect. At this point, I actually think these 4 might shoot better than the originals. That's not up for question right now, though. What is up for question is, how much do you think we can make off of these if I keep doing this? Because I'm bored.
He just kind of puts a hand up, just a little stop sign, and it just gestures to hand over one of the rifles.
She picks it up and... Oh, go ahead, Kai.
Cat, give me a roll, and then continue narrating.
Krill picks it up. Her awkward hand, not great at holding a rifle, but the way you would swear an engineer works with a tool, they don't need to be, like handling it perfectly, but she's like, with like an awkward angle, undoes the safety, pulls the mag out, checks, shows empty, puts it, cocks, and hands to you.
Right. Just a little glance. Do you have any clientele in mind?
There's obviously Lee's. We can always do the, hey, we found this box of guns outside of like a truck or in an alley. See if Lee will pick them up. I don't think he'd care about knockoffs too much. My main thing is I was wondering if we could use this as an entry scheme. So you were like, hey, Lee, we've got like 4 crates of like Espion rifles here. But like we got this one crate that we've never seen before. And it's Krill tech. And then we can maybe just start slowly inserting our own tech into the market. And that way we also don't run the line of someone coming to figure out who just remade their rifles.
With that in mind, Jacob just kind of looks them back and forth. Well, since these are new, they're going to be clean, and obviously not really traceable. Knock off a little bit for being replicas, but pretty good. I don't know.
Lee,
Unless you know the serial numbers.
Lee would
and their lack thereof.
Lee would
Go
give
ahead.
you a base rate of 100 per, but with what Krill has done to them, you're looking at about $1.25 per.
So relaying this information, about 125 thereabouts a rifle. If I had
It's
to
not
guess.
bad.
I mean, it's not.
So-
I mean, it's money we don't have. I'll
Well,
take
okay,
it.
but no. Those rifles were about, and then she gestures to the junk pile to the right. It's about 30 creds of scrap. Like, that wasn't cheap scrap I used to make them, but like that's not a bad turnover.
That's a decent amount of profit. It's just labor hours at that point. How much can you really churn out?
Well, the thing is that I would much rather us start a dialogue with Lee with stuff he knows first before we try and sell him stuff he's never seen before.
Well, he just starts aiming down some of them.
As well.
It doesn't.
And one of the monitors in the room starts replaying Troy's footage from the shard. I caught these on the way back. No one described them. I'm sorry. Is that an electronics store, an augment store, a weapon store, and a ripper dock, all in basically a strip? The marketplace we have there cannot be ignored.
I'm not saying it should. I'm just saying, understand what you're up against. We're talking small-time arm deals versus a whole gang that specializes in sort of situation. Either way,
That's fair.
yeah. Either way, though, these are pretty fucking good. I mean, just a little mental math going on right now. Give that lead dude a call. Let's see what he says.
All right. Could I put you in charge of that? My human social skills are not, how would you say, fine-tuned.
Well, I don't know exactly what you did to him, so I say we just both handle it.
Okay.
All right.
Krill, I'm gonna assume that you came in a little after 8. Started working on those. So figure 1 per hour is your production rate of those firearms. If you'd like to do math for that in the future.
Understood. And if anyone is wondering why something like the weapon of destruction could be made sooner in the last episode, that was just literally like leather strapping with ejection ports on them. That wouldn't take very long. This is solid metal being sculpted and printed on micro printers. They take time. Krill could honestly probably save some time by metal shopping some pieces, but she doesn't have the tools here for that.
Karen.
Yes.
Patty. Where are you?
I'm still at the desk
Okay.
in the office.
Patty's probably standing towards like the front of the door. She's like, okay, I gotta clean up this water a minute, but I gotta at least like douse it out. So she's like standing out. She's got like her shirt off, just in her athletic bra, and then she's just pouring out the water, like trying to get it out of her boots. Her boots are actually fine. It's getting out of her pants. So like her boots and socks are off to the side. So she's just trying to get that water out. Like even she's not thinking about like the plans that they promised to do last time of all the things that they're going to do. So even that's out of her head. She's very much in a good mood. She's like, you know what? I feel good today. Things are good.
Good.
And Dalton's heading for Karen's office.
Okay. Karen, your scotch has long arrived.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the time that it took for them to get there. Oh yeah, you've had your bottle of scotch for quite some time. You get an alert on your codex. You get a notification from one of your stream subscriptions.
Ooh. 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 Patty. Patty, come over here.
What?
Come over here. One of my
Why?
favorite shows is on. One of my favorite shows is about to start. I want you to watch this with me. I have a bottle of scotch here. I'll pour you a drink.
Okay. She picks up her boots and she walks over and she like sets them down. She's like, what is it? And she kind of like takes her like completely bare feet up as she just leans back.
It's one of my favorite programs. It's called Wickedness Uncovered. I've been watching it for years. I think you're going to love this. And as she says this, she takes the empty glass with no ice cube in it and pours a good 3 fingers in it and hands it directly to Patty. Now, right after that, Karen reaches into her purse and pulls out a little square about yay big. And it has a little knob on the end. And on the side of it, it says, Dwink Buddy. Now, it has a little LCD screen on one side, and Karen pops the button on the end, starts fiddling with it, and you see a little old-fashioned comes on. And she presses the button on the end, and it little tube pops out, and it dispenses a little bit of aromatic bitters, some lemon, some little bit of orange oil, and some demerara syrup. The little nozzle pops back in, a little stick comes out with a spoon on the end, and she stirs the cup a little, puts the spoon back in, and pops the Dwink Buddy back into her purse. Takes a little sip. Oh, it's always good to have a tasty drink, isn't it?
What? Who are you? What's going on?
What are you talking about? Oh, look, it's on.
And with
She's
that,
like very much like frozen in this moment. She's like, "What the fuck's going on?" Like, she's like expecting to get shot. Like, she is so thrown off.
It's at this moment Krill comes back in with some more scrap in her hand, and she starts making a lot of noise. And it, like, not on purpose. She's just, the table starts turning on again, and like it's too unnoticeable at this point. And even Krill's just like feeling ice in the back of her head, like.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
as soon as you like turn your head back, Patty's looking at Krill and her eyes are wide. She's like the very much, "Help me! I don't know what's happening."
And you catch Karen's eyes, and she's staring death in your eyes. And she just says, quiet. You can join us, though.
Oh, what is going on?
Oh, we're going to watch my favorite show.
Oh,
It's called
what network?
Wickedness Uncovered.
Krill's just head leans up for a second, and suddenly every monitor turns to it.
you see black and white crime photos, just one after another. Because of course Karen's favorite show is a true crime show.
You're going to love this. It's hosted by this awesome person named Edgar Thornwood. I love him.
Thornwood? She still suspicious, takes that sip.
Hello and welcome back to Wickedness Uncovered. In a previous episode, we covered the case of a serial sexual abuser and murderer who terrorized NSF over a number of years. It was a shocking and disturbing case that both left us questioning our faith in humanity, in addition to leaving us with more questions than answers. However, today we have new information to share with you, our loyal viewers. This terrifying menace to our great city has been apprehended, and we finally have some closure to this case. I'm your host, Edgar Thornwood, and I'm joined, as always, by Dahlia Rodriguez. Dahlia, it's great to be able to close another case with you today. That it is, Edgar. It's always a pleasure to be here, especially when there's some good news to share. Absolutely. So, let's dive right in. Can you remind our viewers of the details of this case? Of course. In our previous episode, we discussed a series of sexual assaults and murders that took place in NSF over a period of several years. The victims ranged from animals to children to several people, and they had been notably treated in brutal and sadistic manners. The killer, while admittedly leaving behind DNA evidence, benefited from the chaos of the late corporate wars era and the society-bending shifts that we were undergoing due to the influx event at the time. That was a wild time to be alive, provided you survived it at all. So, don't keep us waiting in suspense. Who is it? Who is this abomination? Who is this tragedy of man? The suspect is named Mateo Asher Garcia III, who at the time of his first human murder was likely only 9 or 10 years of age. It's at this time that a mugshot is put on the screen. And Patty, it looks like somebody who's maybe 2 years older than one 14-year-old who was found on a roadside involved in some gang violence that one might have thrown their medtech career away for.
So wait.
Yes.
So the first victim...
It's that person. No. Mateo Asher Garcia III would be the 14-year-old whom Patty helped.
There's a shift. She doesn't say anything, but you can see there's a little shift in like how she's holding the glass, and she's like staring at the screen, but she's not staring at it.
He had a troubled upbringing, witnessing multiple murders during the corporate war era, and likely due to the loss of both of his parents, forcing him into foster care, which he very early on began running away from and surviving on the streets in sporadic bursts before being picked up by the NSFPD and returned to another foster home. During these early stages, it was noted that he had a penchant for violence towards animals. Early on, though, it seems that the system failed to protect us all from this juvenile, as we have exclusively obtained copies of his sealed police records from that time, noting that he was also the primary suspect in several deaths of smaller children placed in the same foster care homes he was in. It would seem that around the age of 14, his malignant personality began to metastasize, leading him to not only abuse those smaller and weaker than him, but to also include a sexual component, which, as we know from the other previously unsolved cases, included tasing and sodomizing multiple people with various implements. During this time, there was a break of several months that went previously unexplained, but due to the confession obtained by the city attorney's office, we now know it was due to Mateo being shot during some random street-level gang violence, and he was sidelined from his malicious activities temporarily, though only temporarily. He admitted to hitting the streets to prowl for his next victim as soon as he could after healing. Wow. Wow. That's fucked up. So, how did NSFPD catch him? Well, frankly, like most crimes the NSFPD solves, it wasn't due to their competence. In fact, it was pure dumb luck. Sounds about right. So, what happened this time? NSFPD was doing a routine gang bust due to a shootout over a Trez deal gone wrong. And when they DNA'd one of the zombies, the DNA pinged a whole series of unsolved rapes and murders. According to some insider reports, the police at the scene thought their equipment was malfunctioning since the kid was only 16 years of age. So, what's going to happen to this Mateo punk? Mr. Garcia III was arrested and charged with 8 counts of murder in the first degree and 5 counts of sexual assault. He pleaded guilty to all charges and cut a deal with the city attorney to serve out his 338-year sentence in the Exogen Martian Mining Concession Penal Colony, rather than getting the death penalty. Well, at least there's some closure for the victims and their families, and now that monster can repay society, even if it is in just a small way. And thankfully, we have the Red Sea Criminal DNA Database to thank for helping bring killers like this to justice. Well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back soon with another episode of Wickedness Uncovered. And remember, the world wants you dead. Until next time.
I love that show, and screw you, Dahlia. Nobody likes you since you got added.
She does have quite a lot of trying to find. There was a word that I saw in a documentary. I saw they called it plastic face.
Yes. Yeah. She's no fun. Yeah, I like
Is that-
Edgar a lot better.
How is it so common for people of celebrity status to have poor facial reconstruction surgery when it's so commonly done at higher qualities these days?
Because
What-
they're cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a pretty crazy story, though. That Mateo guy. That was gross.
Quite a long, like, for such a young kid to have such a long spree.
Right? That was so weird. There was that section there in the middle. It was like, he almost got taken out, but that was weird. He came back. It's too bad he didn't get shot up a little more. Right?
True monsters rarely die. They always come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that they sent him to the Mars colony concession.
We do get a lot of tax dollars returned when we send slave labor to there. But like it's the worst of the worst, and like honestly, they're just gonna shoot at us if they're in the city wall. So like I don't know. I don't feel too bad about it.
Good riddance.
Patty downs the rest of her scotch. She pulls out her phone, and it's very obvious, like, it's a very bad lie. She's like, oh, look, I'm getting a call. And she steps up, and she starts walking away.
As you do that, does anybody want to try and see through this lie? Seeing as
We
you...
have to roll.
Yeah.
You don't have to roll to see through the lie. It's very much roll to notice anything about Patty.
Yeah, and
No, just like, okay,
Minus
have fun,
one.
Patty. Enjoy your phone call.
Dalton's just been quietly in the back of the room because he wanted to talk to Karen, but he saw the death stare to Krill and was like, I'm just going to sit still. But he's definitely going to roll.
Okay.
-1.
The only one who sees any sort of change here is Karen. Krill is oblivious. Dalton's Dalton's also oblivious. Karen, you may not see a ton, but you definitely see through this ruse, and you definitely see that something has rattled Patty.
Are you still here, Patty?
Patty's not even in the room at the moment. She's like walking towards the front. She's like probably like a couple steps out before she hits it. And she's like typing in like the codex rapidly, and her hands even like kind of shaking. She's like, and she like looks back once, and then she steps outside.
Since Patty is technically walking out, that means Troy does see her, and Troy just states, as she's leaving, Patty, do you require assistance with anything?
No. And then she like immediately turns and walks out.
Very well.
Karen gets up to follow and grabs an umbrella along the way. And the bottle of scotch.
Oh,
Like, she
wait, grab
grabs
that
the
one.
scotch.
Krill, there's like a couple of umbrellas in a stand. Krill takes a different one that Karen was handing because the one Karen picks up is half dismantled. Sorry, here you go.
And when Karen grabs the scotch to take it out of the room with her, Dalton, like, head sinks a little bit.
Dalton, come over here and help me. I need some hands.
You got it, Krill. I don't know what I can do with tech stuff, but I'll give you some help.
Oh, we're not
Dalton.
doing tech stuff. And she just shows him, we're making guns. And we fade to black.
So she's pulling out her codex, and she's got the first number in her codex set up. It comes before her X, but it's the first number that she's has in her entire codex, and she turns it on. She's going to start calling her old boss and her mentor,
Whose name is?
John. She never cared to learn his last name. It's probably like something like very different, but like he goes by a very American first name.
And do you require me for this conversation?
Yes.
Okay. That is true. His name is John Hinkle Dimmersmith.
What level of Anglo is that?
Level 11. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
John,
You got John.
it's Patty. We need to talk.
I mean, I haven't spoken to you and you shouldn't even be caught. You're still on the... Patty, what are you doing? You know if you get caught, you stole a medtac vehicle. You took your
John,
gear.
I get it, but that's not important right now, okay?
What's
That kid,
important
remember
is
I fucking saved him?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Apparently, he just got fucking convicted for killing and sexually abusing like tons of fucking people and animals.
Oh shit. Yeah, that was that Mateo kid. Yeah, we all saw it on the news. I thought you'd still be on the run, Patty.
I never fucking left the city.
Jesus, that's not smart.
Well, I'm fucking one person out of a million. Why the fuck did they give me Anyway, that doesn't fucking matter. I need to know who arrested him and what DNA did they have.
I mean, I don't have access to that information. That's
Who do I talk to?
NSFPD. I mean, occasionally usually they get called in after us. We're usually first on the scene and we handle, a client with insurance. NSFPD does cleanup duty.
He's like sitting in like off to the alley and she's just like, John, either that kid is being put to fucking a penal colony falsely, or I fucking saved a goddamn psychopath.
I mean, Patty. We saved a lot of psychopaths.
John, I'm sorry. No, like, I need to know who was there. Who was the first guy responding? Who was collecting the DNA? I need to know that.
I mean,
Who do I talk to?
Patty, again, I don't have a name for you, but they would have sampled his DNA multiple times, and they had DNA from, as I understand it from the news, at least 13 different cases.
Yeah, they've done this shit before, and they fucked up so many times past 6 Ways to Sunday that I don't trust them.
Patty, is this about you trusting them or you trusting yourself?
John, I know you've known me for a long time now, and I would kill someone as soon as they put a bullet in you, but do not go there.
Patty, I think we went there by you calling this number.
John, tell me who I can talk to.
Call the NSFPD main line, I guess, and ask to speak to the detective in charge, because I wouldn't have that information. I don't know what you want from me, Patty, but I'd suggest, one, maybe throw away whatever device you're calling me from after this, because if you don't think MedTech officers aren't bugged, then I don't know what to tell you. Two, you should probably turn yourself in. Wink, wink. And three, maybe talk to somebody, Patty. Good luck. Click.
Thanks. And, like, her hand's still shaking a little bit, and then she drops the phone on the ground, like she crushes it with her foot. She just stands there. Like, if anybody walks out behind her, they're just going to see her standing there and, like, her hands in the air, and she's just kind of, like frozen in that moment.
That would be Karen.
Productive conversation. I'll take that as a yes.
What
Now,
are you
I
doing out here?
don't mean to listen in on conversations, but I couldn't help but hear a little bit of what you were talking to your friend about. So you know this Mateo person, I take it?
She's looking directly at her. The sunglasses are on, but there's very much that like recognition and almost just answering it with saying nothing. And she's like,
Interesting. There's a lot of mystery around you, Patty. And you're not very good at hiding it.
it's almost like a fucking pot is calling the kettle black.
I think you know very little about me.
Bingo.
I think no one knows much about me. And that's on purpose. Now, I'm curious, does this Mateo person, does this tie in with some of these other issues you've been having with us? Because it seems like it would be related.
Aside from you being a downright fucking bitch.
I am a bitch because of where we are. Have you looked at the city we live in? I am a product of my environment, hun. If you're not a bitch here, then you're blind and dead.
You want to figure out that fucking bad? You got two options. You get me the detective's name who is in charge of that fucking case Mateo was arrested at, or you give me fucking, I don't know, like, give me a fucking bottle of vodka or give me the rest of your fucking scotch, okay? You want to figure out so fucking bad? Those are the options.
Can hands over the bottle of scotch.
She takes the scotch and she just, like, starts taking a whole swig of it. I'm gonna hear, here's my gun, here's my taser. You hold these for the moment because I'm gonna shoot somebody if I hold on to them, okay?
Appreciate that.
Okay. And she walks past Karen. She doesn't bump her in the shoulder this time, but she is very much like I am like 2 seconds from like literally blowing up the city.
I appreciate this fire that you have, Patty. I really do. I have a similar one, probably for very different reasons, but that fire I really do enjoy.
She doesn't say anything. She just walks inside.
Troy, Patty is walking by you. Give me a roll.
-1. Is there a modifier I'm adding to this one?
Yeah, it's an empathy roll. So you know.
I figured. So that's
Yeah,
one.
it's a 1. So you definitely notice that this is not a difficult read. Patty is visibly upset.
Troy definitely steps up behind Patty as they're walking by and says, "Patty, is everything all right?"
You know what, Troy? No, I'm not okay, okay? I just learned the entire reason I fucked my career is a fucking insane lunatic. How do you think I feel?
Would you like me to load up my therapist protocols?
No.
Is there anything I can do to assist you?
Yeah. Can you kill the entire NSFP city, please? Just kill us all, okay? Take us all out, because we all fucking deserve to die now.
I do have protocols designed to kill. Would you like me to implement them on you?
No.
Very well.
She just takes another swig of the scotch, and she's... Just when this fucking city manages... I managed to fucking make it in the city, or, like, not want to kill everybody, and then it just fucking pins me down and beats the shit out of me again. Fucking.
Anybody around or present would hear and see this. So Karen, Troy, potentially Dalton, potentially.
Yeah,
Krill.
Dalton's awkwardly like, I'm in the wrong room.
I don't.
Krill is
quite know
Krill is
what you're
doing this kind of moment where it's like I can see and hear everything 100 times easier than all of you, and I'm still trying to tune it out.
Yeah,
Troy's just
Jacob.
kind of awkwardly like patting Patty on the back.
Pat.
Troy, please don't. Okay.
Very well.
I don't want to be touched right now.
Jacob is, of course, just taking note of the situation. Not the first time he's seen Patty all fucked up and crazy. Not going to be the last either. So, seeing Troy just helpless, he just, almost as if he was taking a metaphorical shot himself, he just kind of claps his hand together and just slowly makes his way towards the duo right now. And then he just
Trio, because I think Karen's here too, isn't?
Is Karen? I thought Karen was still outside.
Yeah,
Either way.
Dalton swings
No,
back
Karen
to
was-
Krill.
Right
Taking-
behind Patty.
Either fucking way. Point is, Jacob starts making his way over, because at this point he's already kind of gotten some time to know Patty a little bit better. So he just just walks up and it's just like, "What's your deal?"
My deal?
Yeah.
What isn't my fucking deal at this point, okay? It's this fucking city. It's this fucking world. The world's fucking falling apart. You try to do anything good in this fucking world, and it says, haha, suck it, bitch, and then it just fucking cold cocks you.
Welcome to it.
Every time, okay? Every time you just, like, you try to do something good, okay? You're saying, oh, fuck it, let's just burn the city down to save somebody. And then it turns out that fucking person's, like, got a fucking nuke over the fucking world. I just want something good to go right for once.
You breathing?
Sure.
You wake up this morning?
Yeah.
You still walking?
I don't want to.
Well, it sounds like things are going right for you.
Why did it have to be him? It could have been anybody else. It could have been just, I don't know, some random fucking guy that I saved one time. It could have just... Why did it have to be him?
I ain't the one to tell you that shit. Never decided to work in medtech or any of that other bullshit. I ain't there for the reason you're actually experiencing now.
Troy, not being aware of the Mateo situation, just asked Patty, "Did someone important to you die?"
No. Worse. I realized they were fucking scumbag.
A previous partner?
No. Hell, she was okay, like, she was good, like, she was patient, she dealt with me through my fucking bullshit, but last time, she couldn't take it anymore, and then I decided to screw that thing over too. It's just like, it's either the fucking world just burns it for me, or I burn it myself, and I just can't.
Like, I'm not gonna pretend to be a therapist here. I'm not gonna pretend to know the answers to this shit. Frankly, I don't give a fuck most of the time. You need to learn to live with yourself.
I do.
Look, I ain't one to judge. Trust me. But there's a little bit more to it than just that.
If you start telling me that just saying world shit, life shit, get used to it, I'm gonna put a bullet in you first, and I'm gonna put a bullet in me, okay?
Look, I'm here. Look, I'm here. I'm here. Everyone's here. We all got things to deal with. I have done a lot worse than you. I'm willing to bet. You know. But I'm here. People come, people go. Money may come, money may go. But I'm still here.
Being alive ain't fucking living.
Exactly. Start living.
Yeah, I tried. And then the kid that I tried to help start living, you know what fucking happened? Turns out he's a fucking sexual abuser and killed a bunch of people.
Did I tell you to make him live, or did I tell you to live?
I had a fucking purpose, okay? You know? Like, I had a real simple fucking goal, okay? I didn't have to do drugs, I didn't have to fucking run drugs, or I didn't have to, like, become a fucking talking, living animatronic just to get where I am. I had one simple fucking goal, one simple job. Keep people alive. And as soon as they told me not to do that, I was like, motherfucking, I can't do that. It's a fucking 14-year-old. Don't tell me to keep people alive and then tell me not to keep them alive.
Likewise, people fucking suck. So, you live with keeping those people alive too, or you don't do it at all. Or, you can start choosing who you keep people alive. Point is, actions have been done, live with them. You made your bed, sleep in it.
I thought I was able to sleep in the bed. I was like, I'll never fucking work in that tech again. They'll come after my ass. I'll probably get killed trying to survive by them. I thought I could take that. Then this motherfucking Garcia bitch comes in. He's like, haha, I'm actually the worst human being in the fucking world.
I'm curious, Patty, if you had known what Mateo was like when you threw everything away to save him, would you have still saved him?
She starts thinking about that, and there's like all the anger and energy and everything, and it just kind of slips away for a moment. Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
Sounds like you know where your ethics are.
Yeah.
They may result in some bad outcomes, ones you didn't intend for. And that's worth it for your morals, is it not?
It feels like the longer we live in this world, morality doesn't fucking exist.
It doesn't. Except in
Yep.
your own head.
Do shit you can live with.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, just a little twinge comes across Jacob's face. Just practically, everyone could see, like, why the fuck did I just agree with Karen? Just right there in the eyes.
I swear, if I ever find any of you motherfuckers having, like, serially abused or, like, been a fucking psychopath, I will put a bullet in your brain and I will fucking enjoy it.
I am not capable of abuse without the prior consent.
Troy, yes you are. Shut the fuck up.
I am incapable of remembering anything before the age of 15.
Troy actually just looks like a little confused for a minute, and he's like, I am?
As
He doesn't
Krill,
say that out loud, but it's just like,
Just a little pan
As
over.
Krill says that, though, like when the gun pieces were put together, snaps a finger on Dalton. Oh, you giant tiger prawn! Pay attention.
Oh, sorry. And then her like weird hand just starts to like spin like a drill, taking the screw out, letting your finger go. Sorry. It's
It's okay. It's my bad. I apologize for going down the breed of prawn route with you again. My apologies, Krill.
Honestly, I find it more interesting. It's more, I don't know, it's nicer than trash can.
Likewise.
Dalton goes back to fidgeting.
Likewise, Jacob just looks back at Patty. She's just like, well, abuse never really been my thing. It's bad for business when that shit gets out.
I only
just-
abuse people who deserve it. Or ask.
I feel like people. She leans back into the wall and just kind of just slowly slides down until her ass is on the ground. She's like, the alcohol's starting to hit now, and she was like, I feel like your standard for abuse is basically anybody that pisses you off.
I think you're making a lot of assumptions about me.
I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about Karen.
Ah. I have a particular viewpoint of the world, yes. In my eyes, most people deserve a bit of abuse. Yes. And most people, in my experience, have very much shown me they are deserving of said abuse. I don't dole it out willy-nilly. It's targeted.
Yeah, you see. You see, Jacob, I understand you. You're broken, right? You're a broken guy. You've seen some shit. You're doing your thing, okay? See, Karen, you scare me the most. Okay? It very much feels like you can turn it on and off. Like, that's what it feels like, and that scares me.
Turn what on and off?
You know what I'm talking about. That little switch in your system says I care about people. That thing.
It's not that I have a switch where I don't care about other people. It's that there's a switch I flip to keep myself safe. It's about me at the end of the day.
You ever think about the people you kill?
No. And they wouldn't think about me either.
See, I don't buy that. I don't buy that people don't think about you, okay? Because if I know what goes through my head, I see the people I lost, okay? I have to turn it off, be able to get the job done, but I see those people at the end of the night, okay? I see them going by, and then it's like, okay, I lost those people, but I saved some people. They're still there. They're all blended in my head at this point, but they're still there. That's a reason
So they
why.
live rent free in there.
A little bit, but I choose to remember them too.
Sounds like you're having a ghost in your head.
Maybe.
Sounds like you're hanging on to something for a reason. Beyond this surface level analysis. Why? Why do you hold on to them, Patty?
Because if I don't, who will?
Do they need to be held on to?
Better question. When you die, who's going to hold on to you? Who's going to remember you? Who's going to think about all the things that you did?
No one.
That's not how nature
Absolutely
works.
no one. And I have accepted that for years, Patty. I have lived in a state that I could disappear at an instant and I would fade into obscurity and non-existence in a matter of moments. I am a speck in this existence, and I'm okay with that.
I'll remember you. The minute you
Thank
go out
you.
of this fucking planet, I'll remember this fucking bitch that thought she was a little better than everybody. She's just like, hi, I'm gonna treat you all like the members of my court. I will remember every little bit of you. Because here's the fact, okay? We die, cool, we're gone, whatever. But we're people, like, we deserve to be remembered, right?
I don't think we deserve anything.
I am not sure I agree, Patty. And I am
don't
someone who believes in legacy, but I do not believe that it is the person that is remembered. It is the change, the action, the idea, the thing that altered history that will be remembered. Not them per se.
The names we remember the most are the biggest monsters. Why would I want to be remembered?
So if the biggest names are the ones that are the most monsters, why not remember the ones who are not?
How will you change that, Patty?
How will you get news to cover all of these good people as much as you would like them to without any economic incentive? How do we get this out? How do we get the good people remembered?
I'll remember. I'll remember the people that, even that fucking guy that we were going down the fucking road that decided to fucking kid us, I had to think about, like, that was a fucking person that had, like, a life, you know? Maybe he had friends that he hung out with. And, like, he decided to hit our van. We had to kill him, sure. But, like, there's a reason he did that.
Yeah, because he's a fucking punk.
Shh. You're a fucking punk. There's a reason you do things.
Yeah.
And the fly that I swat has a whole life too, Patty. All living things do.
As Karen says that, every monitor is covered in an aquatic nature documentary of different cute-looking fish eating other fish. Just everything is eat or be eaten. All of these lives have major impacts in the environment and ecosystem. None of them need to be remembered, though.
Why not?
Do you wish to remember every blade of grass before
Oh, fuck
a
you.
herbivore
I'm talking
eats it?
about people. I'm not talking about animals. I'm talking about people.
Why do you
Well,
get to decide?
I may be made of robotics. I am still a fucking animal. So are you, Patty.
Okay, you cannot tell me there isn't a fucking difference between us and animals at this point, okay? We literally have created the world. We nuked it into an annihilation, okay? Like, we literally, like, what's that fucking old shit that they talked about? Okay, like, God doesn't exist because we are gods on some level. We have been able to destroy so many things and been able to save so many people that, like, to even say that we're just like animals is fucking bullshit, okay?
I seen
Grill?
two Trez use a fucking trash bag as a condom before.
Brill shows footage of a New York rat huffing paint out of a plastic bag that was left there, and then shows a footage of a human doing the exact same thing.
Same bag.
Same bag.
Troy just pipes up and looks at Patty and states, "My internal memory capacity is stated to last 11,000 years. I will remember all of you."
You know, actually, this is the best example, okay? You, me, we're meat bags, right? Troy here is literally a new person from fucking robotic shit. Okay, like I know I treat it like that like it's nothing, right? It's like meaningless because at the end of the day he's a fucking person. You're treating him, making him feel weird, okay? But Troy, you're literally a person. You can feel things. You can think about things. Like the levels to even be as you are is like what's the word for it? Like impossible doesn't feel right. It feels like monumental that you've done something like this.
I am just Troy.
But you, yes, but no.
Patty, I would love to be remembered. Not as Krill, not as anything. I would love for my ideas and my projects to go on without me, to do more, that I will no longer be involved in. I will fade away. And it'll be as like the ecosystem, like this society, like all of these concepts that Earth creates. We ebb and flow in it as it changes without us. We don't need to be remembered. We just need to be a part of it.
But when one of you are gone,
When I'm gone, the pain will go away.
True.
fuck, I'm such a fucking bitch. Fuck. When one of you are gone, there's going to be a hole in this group. I'm going to feel that. Jacob's going to feel that. We're all going to feel that.
Emotions ebb and flow too. There's a slight crackling in her audio projectors, and maybe some of the LEDs are flickering. Doesn't change the fact that we need to have an end for there to be a new, and that always leads to what will end up being sometime. Doesn't matter how much you remember us, and even as as beautiful as that is, you too one day will go into the ground, be consumed by microbacteria, and your memories will return to the earth. And there will be no more Patty, and one day there will be no one who remembered Patty, and that is okay.
You don't
Because
care about me, okay? I'm fine. I can go tomorrow. It'd be fine. The rest of
That's-
you matter much more than fucking me.
why?
Always a fucking person inside a fucking robot. You're literally like the blending of robot to human in this weird like amalgamation that's kind of cool. Okay, like Dalton here has got 40 fucking years of experience, having seen entire world shift on itself. Karen too, and she's been able to like navigate that and survive. And then Jacob is literally like the product of the new world unto itself. These are memories. These are people to remember.
And
Patty?
go ahead, Karen.
In the 1920s, there was 2 billion people on this planet. All of them are dead. How many of their names do you know?
Not enough.
It is the nature of reality for people and memories to go into obscurity. We will be forgotten, all of us, every last one of us.
One day the discs in my hard drives along my back will decay, and even the hard memory that someone like Troy could read, literally take my thoughts from my brain, will be gone. And I am happier knowing that than the idea of everything lasting forever.
It's not even about lasting forever. It's about purely the idea of it, the person, the knowing that that person existed. Because once the universe dies, there's a hole left there that is eventually covered over, right? Like, we don't get rid of it, we lose it, and then the universe covers it over. Someone needs to remember the holes in the universe.
Why?
Not There's a lot of people all pitched in at once here, Karen.
My only question is why? Why do those memory holes need to be filled?
Because at one point they existed.
You're not answering the question.
That is answering the question. To exist is important on its own. The fact that I keep people alive, even this horrible fucking human being that has killed so many people at this point, that matters.
When in
then
100 years, we'll all be dead, and none of it will matter. I'll be
When
dead.
this
I
is-
won't give a shit.
And this is rot, and this is rust. And all my thoughts are dust, I'll be happier. Just, there is a piece to that. And I don't feel like a hole missing, as you would put it. I would simply say, like the sediment soils of fossils and such, we're just another layer as time keeps moving. We're not getting washed over. The new age is coming over. Look at Troy, as you said so well. But he is the next wave. We are all aware of this. We know what's coming. In fact, he threatens almost all of my experiments in his existence, but I see no point in doing anything other than flourishing and perceiving what this amazing little dude can do.
I
Seriously,
have no intention of replacing anyone.
I believe you, Troy. I don't believe you have that intention.
This is the
Troy,
nature
Troy,
of-
before you ever replace me, let's see how you drive a stick shift.
I am programmed with driving protocols.
God damn it.
Troy, the Troy model seemingly is taken from rally car drivers as a skill set level.
Well, we don't have any dirt roads in this city. You have to leave.
The training data for the Troy units uses multiple forms of multiple sources.
I just
Most
know
of
this
which
one was
was-
pertinent. Continue.
Most
Troy.
of which was based around lovemaking. However, there is a bit of rally car and taxi driver training data.
I saw a movie in which they did lovemaking in a vehicle. I assume this is the correlation.
That is in the upper levels of my lovemaking protocols, yes.
Titanic taught me so much.
Protocol 5848 is titled the Titanic car.
Oh, interesting. Must have something to do with creating an excess amount of moisture inside a small space.
Though my reserves
Yes.
are currently dry, I am capable of creating, or at least simulating, human perspiration.
This is interesting to know. At this point, there's just a slow camera pan to Patty as the conversation starts to dissipate.
She's very much like you hear like the voiceover a little bit as like kind of thoughts are going. She's like, they don't fucking get it. What's the fucking point of explaining? Like, none of them understand. And she's like, well, if none of them understand, I might as well keep them alive until they do. And then she takes another hit.
At this point, Jacob just kind of squats down in front of Patty, just one hand in the face over the eyes, like, "Yo, you there?"
As much as I don't want to be, I am.
All right. And then he just kind of a little moment to just kind of look her over. He just gives her another little sock to the shoulder. And he just looks back at Krill and just like, all right, we got anything else to do?
Sorry, this is Karina bullshit. Women, hormones, scenes making me sad. Continuing. Krill just turns to Jacob. So, to fill at least 2 more crates, we need 7 more rifles. We're almost done this one. And she points to Dalton, just like Dalton's literally like guiding the electronic arm. Like legit, it kind of looks like I don't know how is Dalton doing with this? What would be considered a tool, not something super techy, but just a tool he hasn't used before.
I think he'd do pretty well. I can give it a roll.
Please do. Sorry, I just read Carrot.
-2. He looks like he's never touched this device.
Is that a total? What is that total?
It's a 1.
It's not too bad. Okay.
It's by definition average.
Yeah.
He's. We got another one almost done here. It's coming along.
Without looking up, Dalton's just like, it should be fine. I think I've got this.
We'll double check the rifling after.
Sorry, the what?
We'll do the rifling later.
Okay.
You just see one of the other arms. Instead of Krill having to guide it, it just like, kind of like almost like a puppet coming to life, starts working on the table. As you just start to see a drill press start being formatted slowly. I have to do the step in last. Could have just doesn't matter. You'll know how to use that tool at least. And yeah, so Dalton, you start seeing a metalsmith drill press that is like a horizontal one being manufactured for you to do it yourself after. Krill turns back to Jacob. Maybe by tomorrow's end, we would have the crates we need for the Lee sale.
Just gives a little thumbs up to Krill and just, looks back at Patty.
Question, Jacob, before you go though. Should I consider the Krilltech rifles, or should we just do the knockoffs?
Let's stick with the knockoffs, and then after we get in his good graces, we'll maybe give him a sample of the Krilltech shit.
Understood. I'll at least start one prototype getting ready on that one. Understood.
And with that, Jacob just looks back at Patty and he just wonders, kind of out loud, "You ain't gonna fucking puke up all over here, are you?"
Come on. I have had enough alcohol at this point. I'm fine. This is not even like half of what I take on a daily basis.
Give me a roll.
Oh, I hate you, Kai.
You're also not usually well, let's just say emotions and hormones plus.
+2.
Fuck you.
Well,
I deserve that.
Hold on.
Just drank like a motherfucker in a state of distress.
Hold on. 4.
This is your fault, Kat. You
Right.
spoke it into the world.
Yeah.
I could set this as because you're not. You're teetering on the brink.
Throwing up?
Yes.
Let's just say, I'm gonna have to put something in my stomach, otherwise it's all coming up.
Would you like me to get a bucket?
I could go with you across to Shibu's shop. We could get something to eat. I'm a little hungry myself.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Come on. Let's roll.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you need to stay and help Krill. I got her.
I mean, I wasn't. I kind of wanted to eat, but yes.
Look, I got you. I'll bring you back a bowl.
I am capable of assisting Krill.
I'm gonna choose how much you're allowed to have, Dalton, because you'll eat too much.
So now you're doing my portion control?
Yes.
All right, you've had a rough day. That's fine.
I'll get you half a bowl.
It's fried carbs. You know how it is.
It's actually boiled noodles, so
Yeah.
Not fried.
it is a bit fatty though.
Yeah.
Not
I'm a
whole
bit
hell of lot
fatty
better.
myself.
He slowly stands up and she starts walking over. She's kind of just going slow, and then she puts a hand on Troy's shoulder.
Yes, Patty.
Something humans don't talk about a lot. We spend a lot of time thinking about why we're here. We think about what does it mean? Why are we born? Does it mean significance? A lot of people think about that. So, if you ever catch people like talking about like what is the point of existing or whatever thing, just know that if you're going to be alive for a while, since you're like not even human, you're going to be stuck inside your own head, and that's going to end up with you thinking about this a lot. Why are you here?
I am here to facilitate the sexual desires and needs of a client or purchaser or whoever has purchased a Troy unit.
I'm going to give you command here. I don't give you commands often because I like you to make your own choices. Stop saying that's the reason why you're here.
It was the reason for my creation, though.
And, okay, somebody created you. That's not why you're here. You're here because the reason you choose.
And what have I chosen?
I don't know. That's up to you.
I will need to process this for a while.
Well, welcome to... Troy, how long have humans been around?
The modern human has been around for approximately 10,000 years.
We've been alive for 10,000 years and we still haven't figured it out. So,
My processing power is about 500,000 times faster than the processing power of a human brain.
great. You're going to be existing for 11,000 years. 500 times the processing power of a normal human. You got a lot of time to think, buddy. And she pats him on the shoulder and she just starts walking.
Actually, just based off of some rough maths I did, it should take Troy approximately 7.3 days to figure that out.
I was wondering about the math.
Yeah. So, yeah. No big deal.
Amazing.
Troy just gonna casually figure out the meaning of life.
Yeah.
All he needs is 10,001 years in Troy units.
He just speaks it into existence, and whoever hears it just fucking offs themselves.
Why do I feel like the math Kai is using is taken straight from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
No, that was actual math he just did.
Based off of your numbers, if we're using the 25,000, it would take him approximately 18.25 days.
Understand.
Yeah. So, still short of 3 weeks.
A fortnight to figure out human existence.
No, just existence.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, his raison d'etre, his reason for existence, his entire purpose. Yeah. It'd take him about
Figured out.
less than 3 weeks.
See, that was where my thought
42
was
does
going.
not elaborate further.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is 42. Cool.
So,
No, that's the answer. That's not the reason.
question.
It's everything.
Well, it's the answer to everything. But what's the
Yes,
question?
everything is a question.
Yeah, takes a bigger computer for the question. Computer
We need a
approximately
Troy
the size of a
2.0 now.
planet.
Troy designs another fucking Earth.
So
Troy Mark II.
as you
Join Krill on Team Let's Make a Better Earth. Come on.
as you walk out, no, who's actually going to the stall, but it's a rainy day. Very few people. All right, look, let's just address this. Very few people come to this stall in the first place. But on a rainy day, no one comes. So Jigu is literally just sitting there with the sort of the foot heater going and is just chilling watching some Hollow vids.
Patty just like sidles up first. She sighs, places the bottle down, and just sits. And
Jigu turns around, looks at you, and goes, "You look shittier than usual."
smell or look?
Take your pick.
Well, felt good today. Felt like world was looking up a little bit, you know? I got Dalton and his ass to fucking run again. But world decided to fucking stomp me in the neck, you know?
Give me a roll.
Okay. -1.
Yeah, I remember the last time I felt like that. Then I got a call. Both my parents were dead. Get over it. Oh, and by the way, I was 10 when I took that call. Maybe time you managed to handle your shit. What can I get for you?
Fucking Jacob swings around the corner, also now soaked by the rain. Yo, 2 bowls, and I don't know, you said half for Dalton, Patty?
Yeah. So we'll go 2.5 for Dalton.
You know the drill.
Who's drinking beer?
I already got the scotch if I need more.
Just water today. I'm trying to keep frosty. You remember that fight that I'm doing?
Goddamn right, I remember that fight you're doing. You're my boy.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, your boy's got to clean it up a little.
My boy's gonna get his ass whooped, but I'm gonna be there for it.
Like it's 50,000. It's 50,000 creds. I'll explain later. Don't let's get some food in you.
He's like, Jigu goes, I'm not really prepared for customers today. As he looks out into the fucking the absolute just mayhem that is the water situation. He's like, give me a second, I'll knock something out for you. And
I rushed my dude. I ain't feeling it.
Fucking, he starts. He kicks the flames. He puts the flames to the bowl, to the pot. And he puts the spurs to it. Really gets it going. Got that sort of like Chinese wok burner that just puts out the BTUs. Those like 25K fucking BTU wok burners. No, I don't fetishize those burners. Anyway, he fucking puts the spurs to that pot and just starts it getting roiling as fast as he can. He does a quick just a quick mise en place, knocks out some accoutrement, scallions, some cilantro, some fried onions really quickly that he had like left over. Probably not gonna be the greatest, but they were laying around. He can toss them in. He's got some hot peppers he can toss on top to mask everything else. And he starts, he takes the boiling stock and starts ladling it over the noodles in the bowls. The Dalton bowl, of course, is a full-size bowl, and that's just how he rolls. And he starts putting, a little of this, a little of that sort of thing. And he slides the bowls across the way to you and gives you the fat fucking spoon that wonton and noodle bowls usually come with, and a pair of chopsticks for each. And he's like, you know how much?
And just without even hesitation. Fucking Jacob sends his half.
Cool.
Can I get 2 to-go containers for Dalton's bowl? I'm gonna put it in halves. You can have half now and half later.
Jigu takes the bowl back and sort of begrudgingly begins to split this into 2 containers and then stacks
Nice.
one on top of the other and slides it across. He's like, so, what? You fucking kid and get hit by a truck?
No, I realized I saved a fucking serial rapist and psychopath.
That's what you get for saving people.
Yeah. You know, Zigu, don't become a psychopath or a serial abuser, okay?
I mean, I'll put a motherfucker's dick in the dirt if he tries to touch me.
That ain't nothing. I've done that a time or two. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is, don't abuse animals, don't abuse other kids, and don't abuse people.
You're saying no means no.
That.
You all twisted up in your own head, ain't you? Life ain't that complicated. You do?
Life ain't complicated, but we sure make it do.
Nah, it's not that complicated. You do enough to get along. And you don't worry about the rest. What you some corpo CEO? You got aspirations for higher places?
No, it was medtech.
Look at real quick. I want you to look behind you. You see that? That's shit water dripping down behind you. That's actual shit water. Look at where you are. You gotta be concerned about humanity? You're gonna be concerned about the fate of the universe? You're gonna be concerned about what happens after death? Really? You got shit water on you, girl. Worry about the here and now. Worry about what you can control. I'm a fucking kid and I know that. Handle your shit.
You know what? When I first met you, I thought you were just a fucking punk-ass 12-year-old. But you know what?
I'm 13,
I
bitch.
like you. Oh, nice. Well, happy birthday. Well, honey, she looks at Jacob. She stares at him for a long fucking moment. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't, do that whole thinking thing. She's just staring at him. Fair enough.
Jacob just kind of perks up. It's just like he looks over at Patty and then just like back at Jigo and is just like, fuck's up with this bitch.
She your woman, not mine. Anyway.
Just pinches the bridge of his nose and just goes right back to eating his fucking his noodles.
Now, when were you going to tell me that you were fucking fighting?
Look. There's this thing going on at the Shard. It's a safe bout.
He's not down for the fights. Jigu's getting hype.
Look, and I was meaning to tell you about this because I'm gonna need someone to be in my corner here.
Mm.
There's this event. It's a former champion that you get to fight way out of his prime, post-retirement. Fucking, it's not to the death. No, there's no weapons allowed. Minimal fucking augments. You know the deal. So it's 3 rounds, knockouts only, or knockouts and submissions. They don't. Long story short, they don't let you fucking take a motherfucker's head off like we've seen at the fights.
No.
So. You win, you get 50 G's. You don't, you just get an ass whooping. So I figured, why not give a 50 G's? Why not give it a good old try for some 50 G's?
This is a good thing to tell your medic.
I mean, yes, that's why I do want you to be in my corner here.
Alright.
That's it.
What's your what? If I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna cut out of this.
I mean, if I don't get fucked up at all, you're not getting nothing, right?
You're gonna get
Just-
fucked up. I know you.
We'll see. I mean, look, if I get fucked up, neither of us are getting paid, so we'll figure it
Yeah.
out as we go
Well,
along.
if you get fucked up, I get a laugh and get to put your ass back together. But
Right.
if you get fucked up and survive, I get paid.
He getting fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on your side, man.
Look, just keep the noodles coming, all right?
We already got the noodles. He already served
Yeah,
them.
of course. I mean, in the feet. Don't worry about it. Either way, we'll figure out the split. Right now, I'm just trying to focus on keeping ready for it. It's gonna be Tuesday. Did he say Tuesday, Jigu?
You already got brain damage, don't you?
I mean, look,
You got
drugs and
You got that.
shooting.
You got
and
that old man
fucking-
brain. It's Wednesday. You just last night you signed up. Not even less than 12 hours ago, old man.
Look, I was busy. We got in that fight there. You know.
Wednesday.
All right. This fucking kid. All right, but
I'm telling you, this is what happens when you get your ass beat by some random mugger. Okay.
I mean, you telling that to me or him?
I ain't saying to him.
Either way, fucking, So that's what's gonna be coming up for me soon.
She goes shadow boxing in the corner.
I don't even start doing that. Either way, point is, we're gonna need to, that's what's coming up on the target. So, I was hoping you and maybe Crow could be in my corners if she needs to do maintenance on the legs for whatever reason.
Well, as long as we keep you alive long enough, she can either be there or be here. It's up to her.
Right. So yeah, we'll figure out the split and all that, but right now that's not, I'd rather focus on the job that we got going on there.
Yeah. So, what day is it today, Kai?
Saturday.
Cool.
It is Saturday, August 16th in world.
Alright, well, we got some time. We can probably either get a lot of the job done. Wait. Shit, okay. Right. So, I have to potentially... She turns over and she's like, look, you're gonna make me fucking torture a dude after you put me through that fucking emotional ringer? Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You're gonna turn me into a psychopath at this point.
I mean, I thought you already were.
Bitch. Just because I'm a fucking bitch and I threaten to kill people a lot does not mean I'm a psychopath.
I feel like there's not that big of a difference. And I've been around a lot of psychopaths.
No, there's a difference, okay?
Well,
Erin can tell you all about the differences.
mm-hmm.
She watches that fucking true crime shit. Jesus.
I mean, that's like some shit for... That's not really my thing. I think it's boring. Been there, done that for a lot of it.
Yeah. But, yeah. Alright. Well, I might as well get some food in me and sober up a little bit before we do anything else.
Yeah, we don't need you fucking puking up all over the place.
Man, you watched me first day we met drink like myself through like whole bottles of shit, and
Yeah.
I only threw up at the end.
Point being...
Okay, whatever. All right, she's gonna finish the bowl and she's gonna keep eating. She's much like, I'm done with this conversation. Just keeps eating.
Likewise, Jacob just kind of tucks in and just lets the time pass.
So, what's everybody in the base doing?
No, Dalton, no, don't put it there. Dalton, don't put it there.
No, but you just told me that this is where It goes. What? You're changing the whole spec
not
now?
There, not there. Oh my
Oh
god.
my.
Where is the barrel? Put it on the barrel.
Okay, first of all, let's get something straight. If you're gonna stand on the other side of the table, don't turn the blueprint towards you, okay? I need to see it from this way.
You like it this, and then your codec hollow projects the blueprint in front of your face at like this close.
Dalton, the instructions were quite clear. Are you experiencing a discrepancy?
Yeah, I'm experiencing you, Troy. Krill, get this shit out of my face. I'm trying to work. God damn it. Dalton
right.
starts trying to assemble it again.
Krill is making a rifle untouched by Dalton right now. In the back of her mind, she's like, he'll get it right in like 2 or 3 more attempts. But yeah, we're gonna have some fucking throwaway rifles that he makes before they're any good. Shit. That's what's going in her mind. It's like waste of material. Shit.
If this had an engine, it'd be much easier to play with. I'll just say that, okay? Can we make a gun with an engine?
You actually start seeing Krill's eyes fade for a second,
Kind of just a
and
minigun.
a monitor. You just start seeing a rifle being constructed with like hot rod cylinders coming off of it and an engine block in the center with a rotary cannon in the front of it.
Honestly, Krill, I'd stop you and tell you I was joking, but you might be onto something here. Have at it.
You just see a little like almost like it's written in hand, written font, be assembled at the bottom, just called Dalton's Happy Day.
I appreciate that.
DHD.
Dalton looks like he's just slamming Legos together.
So what's Karen up to?
Karen is probing Troy for some information. So she is hanging out by him, and Karen asks Troy, she says, now, I slept on our ideas about what we're thinking about maybe doing for our job. And I know we have that phone from the little angel person. What kind of software do you think you could get a hold of that would allow us backdoor access if, say, someone was to plug that phone into the Zacone system?
I would have to consult the netrunners I'm in contact with.
Hey. So I was thinking, torturing somebody sounds like just the best time, but leaves a lot of room for things to go wrong. What if we were to install some hacker software on the Little Angel phone to backdoor us into the Zacone system, allow us access to adjusting that little number, turn it up so that nobody wins and everybody starts getting pissed off, and then at the, a certain amount of time, have a message come off on the screens from the Little Angel saying, are you enjoying your stay here at the Zacone? I forget their stupid name for their hotel. I hate them. If you are enjoying your stay here,
Casino.
Thank you. The Zacone Big Win Casino. If you're enjoying the stay here at the Zacone Big Win Casino, you can thank them by sending a message to management. Brought to you courtesy of the Little Angels.
The next time I am on the net, I will ask the netrunners if this is possible.
I'm assuming that's something you can just purchase, but if they would have a good line on where to do that, that seems like something you would hopefully not have to cash in a favor for.
Purchasing software does not seem within the netrunner repertoire.
Purchasing.
Your gesture seems to imply the air quotes. Am I safe in assuming you are being sarcastic?
A bit. They have their own means of spending and interacting online outside of credits. So, however they require payment, I'm sure there's a requirement.
Current patterns would seem to suggest that they take payment in forms of favors.
Well, if that's the payment, unfortunately, I'm thinking that would be a good thing for us to get our hands on. So again, next time you hop into the net, talk to them about getting us some backdoor software.
Considering our
not
frequent
your kind of backdoor software.
The euphemism was not lost on me.
Good. Well, thank you, Troy.
Considering our usual monetary circumstances, favors seem to be the more efficient means.
Depends on what those favors are when they cash them in. But I agree. They are quite expedient.
When do you think would be a good time for me to cash in the favors that I still owe the netrunners?
Well, we don't have anything urgent at the moment. If you wanted to check in with them now, see if they have something for you to do.
Perhaps I should wait later tonight when everyone else has gone home.
Actually, that's probably a good idea. That's probably when they're more active anyway.
And Troy just looks over to Dalton and Krill. Fewer chances of interruptions.
True.
I heard that. Krill, we're distractions. We're interruptive. We're troublemakers, according to these two jokers over here.
My apologies.
information
I did
to
not
me.
mean to imply that.
It's okay, Troy. I'm just yanking your chain.
The Troy model does not take advantage of any chain-like ergonomics.
It was a
This is an odd
euphemism,
comment.
Krill.
Oh, you're correct. You caught me on that one.
I'm sure he's got some program that includes chains anyway. He's got a billion of them.
Yes, he does.
Most forms of chains fall under BDSM.
Oh, Jesus.
EDSM?
Bondage, sadomasochism.
Oh,
I
this
missing
is
one.
Come on, Troy unit.
come on.
I am very vanilla.
I'm not allowed to answer. Not with my character right
Domination?
now.
Okay, bondage, domination, sadism, and masochism.
Oh. This is a concept I've never considered. What does that all mean? Not getting it.
Krill, we should probably focus on the guns and not worry about the entire world of BDSM sex play.
That is a surprising result.
Oh, you
Fire.
got it.
That human's body is very purple. Why do they look happy and smiling?
Krill, you gotta stop searching absolutely everything anybody says. I realize Troy was correct in saying distraction.
There's a brief transition point as Patty's just sitting there eating the noodles. She looks at Jacob at one moment. There's that flash across, and she's just imagining Jacob and chins, and then it just transitions back.
Just a little shiver goes down the man's spine as he just continues to eat his noodles. Just, what the fuck was that?
I will ruminate on these concepts. Excuse me.
So,
Just do it privately.
what would you like to do? because you've expressed a potential timeline shift in the form of later, so we could jump ahead to later, or we could do something into the interim. What is the group feeling on this matter?
I would say that with Dalton, from my perspective, Dalton's just gonna help try to make more guns so that we can have more of a sell deal. So I don't mind moving to later. It's my opinion.
Girl's just labor work right now.
Okay.
She wants her fucking money back.
All right. Well, then we can shift forward. We'll do some mechanics in the first place. What we'll do is I want to roll from Dalton and Krill.
Damn.
Okay. Dalton,
+3.
give me 2 rolls because I want a disadvantage roll from you.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a -3
Yeah.
for AJ, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah.
Call out your numbers.
+1 and -3.
So Karina got a +3.
Totaling 2.
No.
No?
Okay, so Dalton, you have a 0. Krill has a 7. And so in that time frame, we will say that it took an hour for everything to occur approximately. With Patty, we'll say an hour and we'll say another half an hour for Patty Jacob to get back with the noodle bowls, or to eat the noodles and get back. And we'll say we jump ahead to say 8:30.
I do want to ask him one thing. So I know we had that whole plan of like them hashing it out a little bit. Do we want to save that for later, or
Whenever Karen's ready to talk, whenever.
okay?
Is Patty ready to talk? Is the question.
I think she is. I think after you basically opened the floodgate and she's like poured it all out in that moment. But I think we can now hash out that little river.
Play it out then.
Okay, then what I will do is for when we fast forward, Krill, notate that you have completed 7 weapons. Dalton has completed none.
In fact, the first rifle Dalton made, without him looking, at one point or another, got deconstructed and remade by Krill.
So yes, you can count your full day's labor as 11 guns.
That's at least 2 crates full. I'm happy.
Right. You can also start understanding that narratively you are whittling down your resources. So you are, that scrap pile in the back that used to be a pile is now not so much a pile. It's looking to be a little more sparse. So that is as it is. But we will jump forward to that momentarily. In the meantime, I leave the girls to it. Feel free to place your scene. Feel free to describe your setting and do what you wish to do.
Patty's eaten. She's sobered up just a little bit. She's a little emotionally drained because she's had to go through that whole thing. So she's no longer in that fighting mentality. So at a certain point, she's like hits up wherever Karen is at the moment.
At the desk.
Okay. She walks up and she's like, "Hey, so you saw me go through my whole thing. You saw me go through my whole like emotional spikes, whatever. You want to put all cards on the table at this point?
Let's do it.
Okay. You want to head up to the roof? It's raining, so I don't want to get hit by the rain. But you know, like you get that view. It's nice and everything. Or like get as high as we can.
I
like,
hate
get
to.
the view of the
I hate to
library.
Yeah, I was
know
gonna
your.
say, do we have a roof?
Yeah, I was gonna hate to know your yes and here, but like there is no roof to this
Yeah.
facility.
Can we find a place that's like kind of like a lookout where you see all the rain, but like
There's an alcove in the sort of like area like where there was like a cutout. You could and there were narratively large umbrellas for like patio tables, one of which Troy took down, but was a part of a table out there. So theoretically, you could reinstall a large umbrella to the table out in the sort of patio area, and you could have a seat out there. And
The last time that we spoke of that umbrella, Troy left it by the door.
okay, well there you go.
all right, I'll take a few minutes. Eventually, gets the umbrella, sets it up, and it gets like the table cleared off, so like it's mostly dry. She hits on the seat farthest away from the building. Let Karen like gets the closest to the building if she wants.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Well, you saw my old fucking dramatic backstory, I guess.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So that was why you left MedTech.
Mm-hmm. MedTech, not tech.
Sorry, MedTech.
You're good.
Tech.
I may no longer work for them, but I still respect them. They're still doing a good job.
Sounds like it. Sounds like your ethics of wanting to save people was very strong and stronger than theirs, apparently.
And the problem comes is it's insurance, okay? The kid, fucking psychopath, he was going to be saved, but his insurance ran out in that moment, and so my boss told us all to like pull off and say who's with insurance, but I saw a kid. I saw a 14-year-old kid bleeding. He's got like 3 or 4 bullets in him. I'm like, I gotta keep this motherfucker alive. So I did what I had to do, and I kept him alive.
And he went on to kill multiple people.
Elliot already killed multiple people.
Yes, he had.
Yeah. So
Still worth saving in your eyes, though, correct?
well, problem comes is when you're in that moment, you don't have time to choose who's the bad guy or choose who's the good guy. You gotta save people. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's just every time you realize one of them is a piece of shit, it's just another fucking kick in the stomach.
You're the one kicking yourself in the stomach.
Maybe. But enough of that. So here's what we're looking at, okay? I'm a little exhausted, but we'll just get through this. I don't trust you. Maybe I like you a little bit more than I did. But here's my problem, okay? We got this whole crew thing going, right? We got Dalton, Jacob, Krill, and Troy. We got the whole shtick, we got like this up and coming whatever shit. My problem is there's a lot going on with you, and when I see you talking to other people outside of us, you're doing that whole like, hi, I'm a charmer. I'm gonna make it look like it's your idea or whatever bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my problem. Stop treating the group like that.
Like what?
Stop treating us like your fucking little, like, puppets.
Okay. So I hear two things. I hear that you don't trust me
Mm-hmm.
and that you think I treat you all like puppets.
Mm-hmm.
How can I make you trust me?
Be honest. Just say what you want. Tell them what you need. Simple as that.
How have I not been honest?
Okay, you and I both know how you're playing Dalton, okay? He's obviously had a little bit of a thing for you. Maybe it's chilled out, but you have been fucking using that. You know it.
I am merely asking for things, and Dalton is volunteering. I am not pushing him. I am not steering him. He is doing his own thing. If you think what I'm doing with him is manipulation, like,
You and I both know he's into you. We know that.
yes,
Okay?
yes, I am aware.
Just tell him it's
And?
not gonna happen. Just be direct. Say it's not gonna happen, Dalton. Stop treating me like the girlfriend that you may get.
Ah, so you want me to hard shut him down? Do you think that would make him feel better?
Maybe not immediately, but it's better than fucking leading him on.
So you're deciding that I'm never going to be into him?
I never said that. I said if you're not into him, tell him.
Okay. I haven't
Yes.
decided yet.
So you're telling there's a chance you could be into him?
Yeah. I don't rule anything out. He hasn't earned any of that respect from me in that way, but I'm not ruling it out. Just because I'm not interested today doesn't mean he can't earn that tomorrow, and I'm not going to remove that possibility for him just because I don't like him today. I don't care.
You're using the dude. You both know. We know it. Don't lie to me, okay? This is my problem. Like, you keep hiding it behind a bunch of fucking words. You keep saying, oh, just because I don't feel it today, maybe I'll feel it tomorrow or some bullshit. Just stop, okay? That's my fucking problem, is you're full of shit.
According to you.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
Oh,
So
I know I'm full of shit, but I know what my shit is about. I'm never gonna fucking lie to you. I don't think I can physically fucking lie to you. You make me so angry sometimes that it's better for me to tell the truth than lie to you because it makes me feel fucking good.
Okay. I will tell you anything you want to know. What do you think I've been lying about?
Not lying, I think you're full of shit. There's a difference, okay? Whenever someone is like, they don't have to lie, but what you can do is you can manipulate people, you can use people, you can bend the truth a little bit. Here's my thing. We're in a group. For better or worse, we're together, right? Whether we have a choice in it or not, we're stuck together. Here's the problem, okay? Don't treat us like you treat them, okay? I don't give a fuck if you manipulate, gaslight, or girl boss, whatever bullshit you want, okay? I don't care. But when you start manipulating us, I got a problem.
I need you to tell me when I've done that. Give me an example.
The times that Dalton has done the whole puppy dog look, and then you basically have been like, oh, Dalton, honey.
That's what you're upset about? That. Okay. I can turn that down. That's no issue. Anything else?
That's the biggest issue. I like Dalton. I think he's a decent dude. I think, as a whole, he gets a lot more shit than he deserves.
I have high hopes for Dalton.
Yeah,
But-
well, if you fucking want high hopes, you gotta treat him like a fucking, like not less than you, okay? This is the whole vibe you get. you give like this whole like I'm better than you, and you may not say that you think you're better, but like it's a vibe.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. You think I think that?
Well, I have yet to see any proof otherwise.
Okay. I behave the way I do because it makes me survive in this world. It's how I've learned to behave. It's how I've learned to survive with this bullshit. Okay? There's a certain amount of crassness to it. There's a certain amount of prickliness to it. I'll admit that. But I am this way for a reason, Patty. I have tried. Dalton is not the first person in my life who has been like him. He's not the first person who I had hopes for, who has been infatuated with me, who I can't get away from. But I will continue to work with. And I'll continue to work with Dalton. I will not shy away from this. I won't shun him away just because he has this infatuation. But I'm also not going to break his heart just because you think that I should be honest with my lack of feelings. Honestly, I have a lack of feelings about everyone, Patty. It's not just Dalton. And I don't think of myself as better than anyone. I think of myself as good as I can be to keep me the fuck alive. And I don't give a shit beyond that.
God, I'm gonna have to say this. I'm sorry that you went through all that shit.
You have no idea what I've been through, Patty.
I don't. But from what little you've given me, it sounds like it fucking sucks.
Yeah. No.
Congrats. It fucking sucks, okay? Like, shit kicks you, beats you down again. I just went through my own fucking shit. It doesn't mean you have to close yourself off from people.
Like I said, Patty, I behave the way I do because it's how I've learned to survive. I cut myself off from people because I wouldn't be here if I didn't. Literally. I would be dead if I hadn't done that. Okay? I would have multiple bullets in me. And I would have died thinking I was doing the right thing as I bled out on the floor, and again, no one would ever remember me. So, I have that wall. I'm a bitch to people, yeah. And I like it. Because at least at the end of the day, I'm still fucking here. And I still like me. And I'm still fucking breathing.
You can be breathing on a life support machine. That doesn't mean you're fucking living.
True.
Fact is, Karen, you want people to trust you, you want people to care about you, you gotta be willing to care about them, okay? And the fact is, if someone shoots you, I can put you back together again. That's my job.
Wouldn't be the first time. Look. So you don't trust me? And you think I pull strings? I will be very honest. From now on, I will be upfront with us. You won't like it, because I will still be a bitch the entire fucking time.
I can take a bitch who's honest versus a bitch who lies to me.
I haven't lied, Patty. If you can point it out, I'll own it.
Just because you don't tell a direct lie don't mean you ain't lying.
You need to give me proof. Show me where I've been wrong. And I can work on it. Until then, I feel this need from you that you don't trust me. And it's very interesting in this interaction because I'm not the one who hid a phone from the group.
You know,
I'm not
I'll
the
be
one
honest
who
here. I'll
held
be
us
honest
up.
here.
No.
Actually,
I'm not the one who held us up.
I have been lying. I'll tell you the truth now, okay? I had a phone I got from that fucking Nils guy, you know? Like the one that Jacob was working with. I took his phone. Because even I know Jacob's got some issues, okay? I need to know what I'm working with before I can put it back together.
So you chose before the group. You chose to put yourself and your own wants before the group. Weird. I don't remember doing that. I'm
Not
selfish
just-
as
not
shit,
just-
and
just
I
not-
didn't do that, did I?
I put it for the group. Because if we're all working...
You
with
made that
motherfuckers-
choice without checking with us, Patty. That is usurping the group. That is deciding before the group. That makes me trust you so little. That
Well, now you
ruins my trust. And
Okay.
I find it so ironic that you find me untrustworthy.
Yeah,
Why
I
would I
didn't-
trust you, Patty?
because I'll keep you alive.
I don't care. I can find 50 people who can do that. Why do I trust you? You think
Because
you're the
the
only
fact-
med tech in town?
Because the fact is, even if you're fucking dying, I'm gonna do my damnedest to keep you alive. Okay? These other med techs will dump your ass at the fucking drop of a hat, okay? I'm gonna keep you alive even if it fucking costs me. Because-
Except if it's to earn us money. Because part of me being alive is not getting shot by our protection. Part of me staying alive is paying for this place we call our base now. And you got in the way of that. You've gotten in the way of that multiple times, Patty. Life is beyond just me having a beating heart. It requires money. And you've been fucking with that directly. I take that as an attack on me. You haven't been keeping us alive, Patty. Again, why should I trust you?
Because there's gonna come a moment, Karen. There's gonna come a moment when the chips are down, you've got bullets in your body, you're gonna be sitting alone at the moment, and there's only be one fucking person you can call upon. Gonna be fucking me, okay? Jacob's gonna be out of fucking bullets. Troy's gonna be short-circuited, and Dalton's car's gonna be fucking crashed. But you call me, I will fucking come.
At what cost, Patty? Because we have a literal monetary cost to your being here. Again,
Why
would I trust
cost,
you?
I could have left your asses ages ago, okay? I can run like 3 jobs a day if I really need to push it.
Okay, then go.
No,
We don't need you.
I'm not leaving. For better or for worse, y'all fucking stuck with me. I'm your problem now.
Okay. I want you to know that I'm perfectly capable of handling my problems.
Can you put person in the shop in 5 times back together again? No.
No, but I have a phone and I can contact many people who can do that.
Yeah,
You're
by the time they all get
replaceable,
there, you're gonna be
Patty.
bleeding out.
So, worth it. I don't need you. We don't need you. You need to earn your place here, Patty. I'm sorry to put it that way, but you now need to earn it. We've all been putting in the work. We've all been trying. I give Dalton way more props than you, and he's been a massive disappointment in so many ways. But
I'll
Still-
just scene for a moment. There's a moment as Patty's thinking, and then she's kind of thinking back to John in this moment. And she's thinking about whenever she first joined MedTech and that whole, like, she didn't have a whole lot of energy and input into it. And she's like, and she remembers like the words specifically. It's like, you need to earn your place here because you're going to get people killed. And then it like cuts back. You're right. I've been fucking up. I don't like to admit it, but you know, you're right.
Now, I really appreciate you saying that. I really do. On my end, you've heard me say it multiple times now. I have no issue with dropping you out of this group at the drop of a hat. But you have inserted yourself here. We do have a connection. And I'm not going to sever that just because. So if you are willing to work on that and work on giving me some grace and giving me specifics on your issues, then I will gladly work with you on those. Does that sound like something you can agree to?
She puts the bottle and she pulls out like 2 small glasses out of hers. I will agree to it if you take a hit with me.
Gladly.
Fair enough. And she pours another, like the last of the bottle, like that last bit drops of the scotch into the glasses. She holds it up. The honesty, I guess, or whatever bullshit. Yeah.
To building new relationships, Patty.
Sure. You sound so much like my fucking mentor. Jesus Christ.
Sounds like they were a smart person to listen to.
No, well, they got kicked out of school early on. They were just really good people.
For the record, that person's name is John Hinkle Dimmersmith.
I hate you guys.
That's canon. I already wrote it in the book, too.
Oh, man.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah, it's in the book. That's how it works.
Yeah.
All right.
She just leans back and starts watching the rain.
New beginnings, seeing as we just have rotated around to Digital Sunset, which is the official theme and start of the influx anyway. So, what we see is a bit of a time lapse, a little bit of a fast forwarding. As the rain pours, as the shit water pours down, you see just shifting, light dimming. As the two come back in, many guns have now piled up in front of Krill. No guns have piled up in front of Dalton. Dalton still struggling on a singular firearm placed in front of him. Being occasionally chastised by Krill, or still somehow fucking up.
Barrel. Just hand drill. The barrel is
Okay.
not.
No. I know we've been doing this for a couple hours. Which piece is the barrel?
The piece you have left as a solid rod in the front.
I'm still not seeing it.
Bill just takes a second and you see a flash in her eyes. The front exhaust port. The cylinder that lets the gases out of this machine.
Oh, this thing.
I want to spend a fate point to help Dalton on this next roll.
You can't spend a fate point for him. You can spend a fate point on yourself, but you can't spend a fate point for him. You can assist him, which will give him a +1. Now, if he wants to spend a fate point, he's got plenty of them to do it with. I don't necessarily know how he'll be tying that into an aspect for himself. Now, if you would like to, if you wanted to join him in this process rather than assist him, right? You could somehow potentially narrate yourself into this and then get a role for yourself. But like, maybe your role can be an educational role?
Yeah, that's kind of where Krill's more at. She's not going to touch this thing.
And then maybe
Dalton
you could give him an advantaged role as a result. I could see that happening.
All right, Dalton, you understand the gas systems, you understand pressures. This, she stops herself, cylinder requires extreme precision with a spiral, mathematically continuous and consistent spiral from tip to tip, and requires it to be perfectly snug where the grooves aren't dug in with the bullet. Any tighter our bullet doesn't move, any further our bullet doesn't aim proper. So, think about aligning bolts on cars. Too tight, you strip the screw. Too loose, you're not spinning anything. Think of it like that. You need a consistent, firm drill. And as it goes through, you will make that perfect groove.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
I'm just double checking something really quickly.
So, I got a roll ready, but Dalton puts the barrel to the drill, and as he starts going, you hear him mumble under his breath. Okay, smooth from nuts to nose, top to bottom. -2.
I'm trying to give you advantage. Could we please? God damn it.
Hold
Can we
on.
give him advantage?
Give me just 1 sec to do some GM homework here.
Okay.
I've pulled out the Bible, as it were, and I just want to double check some of my work. That's all.
Hello, everyone. This is Karina, the voice actress of Influx. While our DM is taking a moment, I hope all of you are having a great day. Now, if you haven't before now, but are still listening to these episodes, I hope you consider a like and subscribe while you're here. Influx appreciates every one of you, and we hope to see you in the next episode. Seriously, we love doing it, and we love seeing we don't even get more than 100 views each episode. We still appreciate every single one of you. Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, and the players need to start liking episodes for, like, algorithmic reasons.
I like the episode.
If you haven't already, players...
I don't like any YouTube videos, so I'll go do that.
It turned into a weird habit. I actually
There's a
genuinely
like
do it now.
Right? What?
I mean, I'm subscribed to the channel.
Did you say unsubscribe?
Right. I
Subscribe, hit that bell icon.
Please
You don't want to
stop. I'm
miss
paying.
the
Okay.
opportunity to get Influx the moment it shows up on your dashboard.
I know that's
Stop.
important, but every time someone does that in a like a video,
It
makes
works.
Me immediately
No.
not want to
It
watch
No,
it.
literally
unironically works. I hate
The
that it
analytics
works.
up.
Yeah.
I demand an apology next episode on live. If we get more people at that exact moment, I demand an
I'm
apology.
not saying that it doesn't work. I just hate it.
No,
it makes
yeah,
me
I-
want to watch it less.
Oh no!
Come on, viewers, smash that like button.
Cringe sells.
Yeah,
Well,
but don't
reminding
kill the part
people
if you
helps.
cringes.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, just reminding people helps.
Hmm.
And 167. Hold on, I'm gonna check
I forget
every
that
single
most people
thing.
forget to like things.
That's what I
so
thought. Okay.
I'm like very tailored. With it.
I was correct. I could homebrew it, which I have no problem doing. But the fact of the matter is that no, you can't spend a fate point for someone else. And so like when someone else is attempting a task, the most you can do is either like collaboratively, like in a fight, you could power like your shit, right? If you have a stunt, it could be powered by a fate point. If it's already described that way. If you're in a fight or an action sequence or something like that, and there's like a stress track that you're both working on an enemy, you could both be using fate points and hit them, simultaneously, that sort of thing, doing respective damage. But for this sort of check, most what you could do is assist him or aid him, which will just automatically give him a +1 buff on whatever he rolls.
That's the best I can do then.
Just wanted to triple check. So yeah. So what was that? You got a -2. Based off of your craft alone, I would say Dalton, at least you see the light in his eyes. Finally, he seems to start. He now understands what a barrel is.
Is this a barrel with 2 L's?
Yes, he now at least grasps the concept of a barrel. Right? So, progress has been made. Not necessarily on the gun itself, but progress, maybe further tutelage in the future. You may have yourself a blossoming gunsmith under Krill's tutelage. Who knows? But for the moment, he doesn't understand any of it except that is the barrel.
And how?
So, congratulations. Progress was made, but, maybe not the kind you wanted. Again, Krill's got her pile. Much like you give the kid a little plastic knife and like some soft vegetables off to the side when you're making the soup. You're like, dude, I can just toss it in the pile and nobody'll notice. It's just, yeah, Timmy. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the help. You helped mommy. So
Real just replaces the basic ass iron sights she asked him to make with ones she made and just pretends he made it.
So there you go. With that process, with that, we'll just call it what it was, a cat fight. With that cat fight done, and you come back in, we just see the stack of guns as the time lapse occurs, and just another gun and another gun and another gun added to the rack. You see, of course, just the same gun in front of Dalton the entire time. So as one gun stays there, there's just, a rack that starts getting filled up by Krill as time goes by. We'll say that 8:30 rolls around as we watch the digital clock tick, 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 faster and faster as the guns fill up, and then slows back down, indicating time has elapsed for the viewer. Movie tropes for the win. Troy. Nighttime has arrived. The time that these types of your people, as they're quickly becoming, tend to start to rouse themselves out of their slumbers. How do you wish to go about this?
Troy just sort of starts once everyone's left and gone home and stuff. Just kind of starts with like a little bit of cleaning around, dusting a few things, sweeping some piles, neatening up the place after, the big project that Krill and Dalton tried to do. And once it's at a point that he feels would be considered satisfactory, this is the time where he feels it would be appropriate to jump into the net. And unless there is a reason that he doesn't or that would interrupt him, he just goes through the processes. His joints stiffen up, and his mind enters into the network.
You do. You find yourself on the main thoroughfare that is the net, coming through one of the 256 entrances that people disembark into the net from, surrounded by all sorts. Gaming avatars, furry avatars, perfected versions of themselves, aliens, all sorts of this, that, and the other that humanity likes to take alternative forms in. And as you begin to wind your way towards Club 2600, you notice that, once again, the route is different. Every time you head to Club 2600, the route is different.
I think Troy's probably expected that by now.
You wind down one pathway, heading down in network infrastructure into a obscure router someplace. So you walk down another alleyway, and now, as you've finally come to expect, the doorway, as it were, to Club 2600 is nothing more than a void.
And of course, Troy walks through the void, knowing full well now that walking through that void in the right place at the right time brings him to Club 2600.
As you do, it's actually early in the day for Club 2600. 8:30 at night is barely the start of most of these degenerates' days. And so what you actually find is the DJ construct, you find the bartender construct, and you find a few just riffraff that you haven't really gotten to know yet, hanging out in the corners, talking. But you do find Grim at the bar, hard at work. As Grim said, this is business for him. So for whatever Grim does, Grim clearly profits from it, and he treats it with a level of responsibility and predictability that is a bit of a rarity amongst netrunners. They tend to be a ADHD, executive dysfunction, addled brain bunch. But Grim is hard at work. It's the beginning of his work day. As you walk in, his back is turned to you, sitting at the bar.
Troy just politely walks up to Grim. And once he's, a step back, giving a step or two back, giving Grim some space, knowing that Grim is usually pretty preoccupied, he just asks, Grim, do you have a moment?
Reminiscent of the first time that you had this encounter, Grim merely holds up a finger. And you see the digital swirl around him. You see data coming and going. You see him interacting with it in various ways. You see the flick of eyes moving back and forth very quickly. And then as the finger comes down, the swirl of bluish, tealish green data comes down with it. And he turns to you and he says, "Ah, my Troybot, yes. What can I do for you today? More cops hot on your tail?"
No. In fact, I believe I am ready to turn in the favors I owe you.
Interesting. Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes because, frankly, Troybot, I don't think you're ready to actually pay me back those favors. But we could give you a lesson or two first. That way, when the time comes to pay me those favors, you're capable of assisting me.
I greatly anticipate these lessons.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you're too much of a fucking rookie to launch any attack from 2600. I don't need you bringing people back here. So, why don't you follow me? And we'll go somewhere more public.
Very well.
Grim gets up, just sort of pushes himself back from the bar a little bit, stands up, walks towards the void, and he continues on down the alleyway. He does not, you notice he does not check over his shoulder. If you had Grim's internal dialogue, you would probably note that it's something as simple as he either manages to follow me or he doesn't. He does not care to look back and check whether you're there. So as he breaks out onto the main thoroughfare of the net, you see Grim just glance right, glance left, and he picks a spot over to the left and starts walking towards it. You notice the signage very quickly is it's a massage parlor with private rooms advertised on the outside. He slides the Japanese style paper door open on the front, walks in and goes, "I'd like to book a room. I brought my own masseuse." They very quickly bow. He swipes some creds over to them, and he begins walking towards the back. The avatar for the hostess very graciously deep bow as she slides open the third door on the left, and he walks in.
Troy's been following behind him pretty closely. He's basically an excited kid right now.
As you walk in behind him, the hostess slides the door closed, and he looks at you and says, "All right, we have a few minutes in here. First off, you need to understand, you are traceable. Now, the connection on the net is end-to-end encrypted, but you on the net are traceable. And I'll tell you right now, it wouldn't be the first time that somebody punctured somebody's location on the net to their real world location. So here's what you need to understand. Best case scenario, you launch your attack from a public space. This is for the foreseeable future. I don't want you launching attacks from any place that matters to you. If the place is supposed to be secure, if the location is matters in any sense, you should not be launching an attack from there. Think public cafes, think bus terminals, but chances are what you're going to do is noticeable by other people. So you need to understand that you can't just be launching an attack vector on a major corpo server while standing in a train station. Somebody's gonna see you. Also, you're going to very quickly be traced back probably. So, find yourself a secluded alleyway. Find yourself a private room. Find yourself a public location somewhere on the net that does not matter to you. Second, as soon as you are done doing what you do, ideally move your location and disconnect as fast as you can. Later on, when you're better at what you can do, then we'll teach you some what ifs. But for now, I want you to not get fucking burned. So, you hit, you run, you disconnect. You got this?
Hit, run, and disconnect.
Okay. Now, pull up that deck of yours, and I want you to search for Sentinel.
Troy brings up his arm like he's about to, look at his watch, and up pops the hologram with his big list of programs on it, and he scrolls through it real quick and comes to Sentinel.
So, Sentinel, and while I understand Passerby hooked you up with his IDS. That's an intrusion detection system. That's a passive detection system to tell you something has made it in. That's not good enough. Sentinel is a active defense system rather than a reactive defense system. Now, you can strengthen it over time, but for now, don't you worry about that. I'll explain that to you later. Anything that gets into it that's a weak enough attack will be auto-detected and neutralized by it. Now, mechanically, for your purposes, if an attack comes at you digitally, anything that is a 1 or lower is just nullified automatically, and you don't need to roll for it if you are running Sentinel. Sentinel requires active activation, and it needs mentioning narratively. But that's what it is mechanically for you. An attack of 1 just gets winged right off of it. All right, now go ahead and actually launch that.
Troy reaches forward and pushes the little launch button and activates Sentinel.
You see the same sort of ring that you've been witnessing around he and Rez before, but it seems hollower. It seems less active. It's more opaque, but nonetheless, a ring of light spins up around you and then forms a cylinder around Troy's avatar on the net.
Troy's watching this, and the expression on his face is probably as close to astonished as Troy's ever been in his life.
Do you display this emotion on your face?
Yes. In fact, it's more apparent on his face than it ever would have been on his real face.
Grim then sees this and grins a little bit. Grim just, all right. It seems Troybot has an affinity for it. Well, we'll see. All right, go ahead and pull that deck out. And as you hear him say, pull that deck out, you notice that the words now have a different quality to them. Once Sentinel is up, you are actually enshrouded on the net. There is a barrier between you. And so the words sort of have a bit of a reverb as they come across Sentinel. He says, all right, go ahead and take that deck out and pull up Foxy.
Bringing his arm back up, he scrolls through the holographic list of stuff and finds Foxy.
All right, here's your first step, kid. Now, the fact that that's on there means that I'm guessing Passerby preloaded it. So, You're going to have 144 public proxy sites in that system. It will automatically route over 6 of them. So when you launch Foxy, what will occur is that it will connect to the proxy site and then bounce it off of 5 more out towards wherever your target is. This is going to buy you time. It's not guaranteed that you're not going to get traced back, but it will buy you enough time to potentially get done what you need doing before your ass is grass. And if they do trace you back, then Sentinel is your last line of defense.
So Sentinel is a form of protection.
Think of it as a condom, kid.
That euphemism, I understand that euphemism.
Good. Now, you can go ahead and close Foxy. You don't need it right now. We're not going to be launching any attacks today.
Troy closes Foxy.
All right. Now, you got a few, you should have a few scan and attack systems on there. I'm not going to walk you through them all today, but I will point a few of them out for you.
Please do.
All right. First off, you probably, knowing passerby, have a few things that are more advanced than what you need. Let's just go ahead and shuffle them out of the way quickly. That way we can ignore them. You probably got nuclei.
Troy just scrolls through it until the word nuclei pops up and says affirmative.
This is a configurable template-based target scanner. That means you have to know what you're doing. But it's a very effective system scanner. It will find all sorts of details and vulnerabilities for you. But again, it's template-based. You have to craft the template for yourself. You have to define the parameters of what it's looking for and what it's looking at. But once you do, you'll be surprised what that tool can get you. Payload.
Troy scrolls through again, brings up payload.
Again, this is a configurable attack vector delivery system. Utilizing the information that you've discovered off of nuclei, you can then create and build your own payloads or your own attacks. Again, highly configurable, but you need to put in the work. Definitely not a beginner's tool, but can deliver very specific, very targeted outcomes.
Noted. And Troy shuffles it into a folder along with nuclei. That's just kind of arbitrarily labeled as something as for later or something.
Osmodeus. For your own edification, Osmedeus. Osmodeus.
Scrolling through his list again, he brings up the Osmodeus app.
Osmodeus automatically runs pipeline to vulnerabilities that have been found. So, if, say, something like nuclei returns a vulnerability after a targeted scan, and you don't need a custom payload to attack it, you can automatically output the results from nuclei into Osmodeus to then run that attack.
Understood. And Troy moves it into the for later folder.
All right, now let's talk what a beginner like you could potentially have use for. Eyewitness.
Troy scrolls through his list again and brings up eyewitness.
Grim takes a minute and just mutters to himself. His predictability is going to get him tagged one day. This is a net site profiler. This will grab images, screenshots, metadata, and checks for default credential usage. If you've got a target on the net that has a presence on the net in the form of a net location or site, you can launch Eyewitness to generally profile that location. Again, it'll check for default credentials that are widespread in the industry or leaks that have been used over the years, as well as archive an instance of that. Super useful for, shall we say, reconnaissance of net locations.
Very interesting.
Derb.
Again, just like he's been doing, and I guess slightly to Grimm's chagrin, he scrolls through his list and brings up Derb.
Derb is a net server content scanner. Basically, rather than asking a server for a specific thing, what it will do is say, give me everything. Now, this could be overwhelming, and depending on what you ask and what server you ask, you could end up with far more data than you expect. But if somebody's running a smaller server or a location, a smaller location and lesser equipment, could be useful. Who knows?
The names of these applications are rather esoteric.
One day you can name a tool after in your own image as well, there, Troybot. But until then, these are all named by humans, and I think you've probably picked up by now, we're a weird bunch. Go ahead.
I find human behavior causes discrepancies in my processing.
We'll see if that helps or hurts. Go ahead and look for Joker. And if you don't find it, it's because it's using a 3, not an E.
The human's unpredictability is somewhat grating.
Get used to it, kid. Get used to it.
Troy, Grimm probably actually did notice that there was an issue with searching it up initially until he mentioned the 3. And then it immediately pops up.
Joker's what we call a network infrastructure penetration testing framework. In short, though, what it actually does is look at the underlying hardware of the system, look at the software architecture that's lying on top of it, and generally just search it for any vulnerabilities. It's what we generally refer to as a quick win. It's low-hanging fruit. It's not guaranteed to get you very specific vulnerabilities, such as something discovered via nuclei, but if their sysadmin is shit, or they did a rush job, who knows? Joker may find you something really quickly that you can utilize.
Curious. This application browses the hardware layer?
Oh, yeah. The hardware layer has occasional firmware attached to it, and so we searched that as well.
I have myself been able to traverse the hardware layer effortlessly.
Yep. Don't worry. I'll get around to using that.
There is a chance that I might be able to find these frameworks more efficiently than the Joker application.
If only somebody had thought of that. So, 2 more to go, kid. Then I'll give you your homework for the day. Spider feet.
Does this one also contain a number in it?
No, it does not.
Then Troy brings it up, searches up spider feet, and scrolls through it until it comes up.
This is what you do. This is what you launch after you're in. Use something like payload to get you in the door, or to kick down the door, or to burn the building to the ground. Either way, the metaphor becomes a little strained after you start thinking about it. Either way, spider feet is what you use to search a network for keyword, data, devices, that sort of thing. Think of it as a search engine for a network that you've just breached.
Is this another one that I should save for later?
Well, let me ask you, kid. Have you done any net running yet?
Nothing that required any form of penetration.
Have you had to look for anything?
A few times, but the standard search engines have usually been providing adequate results.
Given Troy's calculator mechanical brain, I would, outside of character, remind you of the instance where you had to search for data and a little puppers bit you,
right.
bit you, and that search for the data was done manually.
I have not had to. I've been able to find the data on my own. In most instances, although a previous search had results in unpleasant circumstances.
All right. Well, just think of this tool as your own personal little search engine for a network.
Troy looks down at his foot, which doesn't really look like it's been damaged. There isn't really anything there, but he still remembers it. That was jarring to him.
All right. And one more, kid. One more. Wolf eye.
Phi or wolf eye as an EYE?
EYE.
Okay. Troy searches through his little list of applications and brings up wolf eye.
Now, this is an interesting one. You don't run this. Don't ever run this.
Then why is it in my list of applications?
Because you copy it and place it on devices. This logs data. Input, output, locations. This is a data logger. It's configurable. You can have it stored locally, or you could have it upload to the net. Now, if you have it upload to the net, it may get caught. You never know. Also, since it is executed locally on a device, there is a possibility that the device's inbuilt security or a network it's connected to may detect it as well. It's not guaranteed to work, but if it works, it works.
If I were to understand it through a phrase, it is a form of fly on the wall.
He understands idioms. All right.
I am programmed with idioms.
Well then, do you understand what it means when I say I'm going to give you homework?
That refers to work. To work I would perform and execute after the initial lesson.
Okay. Well then, here's what you're going to do. You're going to break in to my server. Well, not mine. Well, I suppose mine is a relative term. Either way, possession is 9/10 of the law. It's mine right now. So, I'm going to give you a server address, a location on the net, and I want you to tell me all about it the next time we meet. We'll meet back at 2600 this time tomorrow night, and you can tell me all about this location.
I look forward to this.
He sends across a location on the net. It's got a server ID attached to it that will absolutely pull up on your deck's GPS, so to speak, a route into this location.
Is there an efficient or adequate time I should perform this?
You've got 24 hours, kid.
Understood.
He turns around, he slides the door open, glances over his shoulder, and says, "Don't follow me."
Understood.
Walks out, walks to the street, breaks left, and just disappears into the crowd.
Troy waits a few minutes before leaving the room, figuring maybe it would be probably better just to not make it look like he's too associated with him. And then he walks out of the massage parlor and into the streets. And he looks at the data that he just received on his deck about this server.
It's seemingly just a singular building, a location further on the net. It's a little out of the way, but nothing amazing, nothing special. It's a location. Till you go explore it, there's not much that's given to you on the GPS. All that it tells you is dot here, path this way.
Troy thinks for a moment, and he wonders, is right now a good time? Should he maybe wait a little bit, or... He's got at least 8 hours before anyone returns, and that could be plenty of time, he thinks for himself. And so he's going to start heading down.
As Troy walks towards the main street, you see the camera just following and then stopping and holding as Troy continues walking into the crowd and into the digital sunset, as it were. The camera fades, and we find an relatively empty base. You've got Krill dealing with the remnants of the guns. It seems Jacob has long fucked off. It seems Dalton and Patty have taken their leave back to their apartments. And it seems that Karen is gone. And as we fade to black, expecting it to be done, the camera fades up once more, and we find Karen in her apartment.
The camera starts off dark, and you slowly see it raising, and you realize you're emerging from long shag carpet as you see a couple of fuzzy slippers stepping out of a lit room as the light goes out. And the camera follows the feet as they move through the room over to a bed. And the person sits down, and the camera starts to continue up as they swing their feet up into the bed and lay down. And you're horizontal, looking at Karen as she's laying in bed, perfectly still, staring up at the ceiling. And she stays there for a good 15 seconds, perfectly still. And all of a sudden, she sits up and she turns to the nightstand. And she reaches down to the lower drawer and she pulls it open. And she takes out a couple of books and sets them on top. And then hits a little hidden button towards the back. And a little compartment opens up. And there's a small black book there, about yay big. Sorry, yay big. And Karen pulls it out and starts flipping through it. And there's various pictures, some of a young girl, some of other people. And there's one that Karen briefly stops on of a middle 25 odd old person, little pudgy, very kind smile in a blue collar working man's outfit, with his arm around a very much younger looking Karen, both of us with glowing smiles on. Karen gets a grimace on her face and flips a couple pages further to a very different looking picture of a very tall, very strong, androgynous person with a flaming red mohawk and punk gear on, standing with one boot on the back of someone who's very clearly unconscious. And Karen lingers there, staring at this picture for a minute. Says, "Fuck you, Dawn. But I still fucking love you." She closes the book, slams it, turns off her nightstand light.
And the camera follows the blackness out, and that's the session.